Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the playoffs of the Four Nations by the UKEL. We have a wonderful, wonderful best of three today between none other than Int Quick and Brod and Friends. I'm AC hosting this desk, and joining me today are none other than Frisky and Mr. Harold Hamhand to bring you all the action outside of the Rift before we head into this best of three. So, my desk here today has a lot to talk about when it comes to this whole series, and let us bring in the bringers of destruction, the bringers of the analysis, Frisky and Harold. I want to ask you guys, how are we doing today?
Yeah, doing.
No,
Yeah,
we're
we are
here.
we are here. We are here. That is correct. Doing good myself. Summer is winding down. A bit of tropical thunderstorms cooling down a little bit, so it's
Ooh,
vibes.
we're about to have a tropical thunderstorm coming down to Summoner's Rift here as well. As we have a little, we've been talking on the green room as well. We have some divided opinions when it comes to this best of three series. But Frisky, I wanted to get your insights on this one as well, because we still want to get to hear a little bit from you as well. Now we have Brod and Friends versus Intquick. Intquick are a fun team, and they do really really well when Kerberos is doing well as well.
It's a bit of a weird matchup today because you got two teams who have come in and have at both times fought for the top spot. Broad ended spring in second place, but then fell. I think it was to Bandits in the spring, or not spring, sorry, winter. And then last
And it
spring,
was
it was
to
obviously uh,
Belfast Storm.
yes. And then it was Intquick who obviously lost the finals to Venom Crest. So you got two teams kind of wanting to make redemption here, and they both somewhat implored different tactics. I would say. I mean, yes, Kerberos is somebody who we've seen a lot of greatness from. He's somebody who kind of needs to be doing well. I think for Inquick to be doing well. Obviously, Inquick have lost their last three games, so kind of coming in from a bit of a slump, trying to regain that. We're brought obviously been on the bit of a rise recently. You could argue it's kind of similar to how Spark is somewhat the carry on the side of Broad. Really, it's going to come down to how like we said before, how much mental boom is going to come from the side of the top laners. We want them to be as structured and as stable as possible, Kerberos and Ackers. But as we know, as top laners, not always a promise that can be held.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, we saw a little bit of a slump from Brod and Friends as well at the beginning of the split, mainly because they were missing Akash throughout those initial games, and this really kind of affected the way that their splits really went. They still managed to grab a spot in playoffs here, Harold, but it did not go according to plan. But now that Akers are back, they look like a completely different team, it seems.
I mean, yeah, Ackers is backers. A meme only up until it's actually real, because they look so much more structured when they have a top side that is can be relied upon to carry and step up in a mid game where maybe your AD carry in Spark hasn't had the most brilliant of early games. He doesn't have that overwhelming lead in the bot lane, and you need to fall back onto somebody to bridge you through that mid game slump. You need to find something that allows you a lane to play through towards. Now, Brawl are really good at playing through mid. QQR and Pop have been in probably the premier mid jungle duo. From last split into this split, they've been playing really well around each other. Now, of course, last split we had split MVP and finalist Karina just kind of being a bit too good at the game, but now, like, you go back and you look at these two players linking up together.
Mm-hmm.
Will you add onto those two players a stabilizing presence that will do what the team will ask in Ackers in the top lane, and then that buys so much time for the star of the broad show, which is Spark. Let's not beat around the bush too much here, to get into the game. So it is probably just going to be like it's just going to be a battle of whether Int Quick can curtail enough of the early game pressure coming through from Broad to let Spark scale or not.
Right, and we do have a couple of clips that we want to go through here. I've selected a few clips where I wanted to emphasize the fact that in Quick, although are a squad that heavily relies on Kerberos, they are also a squad that have glimpses of brilliance individually without actually This is not one of those clips, obviously. I did
No,
not
it's becoming. I posted this. It's getting there. This is this is a Kerberos clip. He just starts out kind of poor and then makes this play happen here where he goes and eats the gnar.
Fair enough.
And we
Incredible.
rewatch
I mean,
it again.
No,
we
it
can't
starts.
watch it
It
again.
starts. It starts.
Listen. It happens, especially when you're on stage like this. You get a little bit nervous, and it goes the opposite way because your mouse isn't exactly where you want it to be. But then he flashes over the wall and he eats Gnar, so everything's fine. The clip that I chose was a little bit more becoming of in Quick here, where they actually pull a massive play without the presence of Kerberos, and it's actually, I felt like it was a super solid play against Belfast. Granted, they did end up losing, but we do see that InQuick took the initiative to collapse on Belfast Storm here to actually take the fight and the dragon.
I mean, yeah, it's not like it's a team with Kerberos and 4 platinum players. It's a team with Kerberos and 4 pretty good, players from the.
Whoa!
I did, words out of my mouth.
Well, I mean,
it's a team with Kerberos and 4 pretty okay players from the
Right.
UK scene, where
Mhm.
like as we were saying before, it does feel like if Kerberos is not in a situation where he is comfortable, he's feeling good in lane, may not necessarily a lead, but he has control over the game, and he can make a has decision making power. He can look for plays. He has windows of opportunity. It does feel like 5IQ do start to struggle when it comes to those situations, because at the end of the day, Kerberos is their main playmakers. So
When he gets to be the playmaker, yes. On the other side, though, we do have Brod&Friends who realistically do come into this series. I feel like, at least for the desk side, they do come in here as kind of the favorites, not only for their experience, for their longevity on the cup, on the UKEL as well. They've made top 4 in the last 2 splits, even though InQuick did make top 2 on the previous split here. But Brod&Friends have been consistently at the top, and having them miss that top 4 spot this split would feel out of script,
yeah, I mean, you would look at Broad in this split to be a possible top 1, top 2 team out of the more top heavy division that we have in this summer split, and the results have looked middling. So I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be surprised necessarily.
Do you feel that way as well, Frisky? I mean, Brod&Friends do have a chance to take the series here from InQuick, but there is a chance that InQuick could very well take the series for themselves.
I mean, I don't actually necessarily think that Broad are the favorites. I think a lot of what you and a lot of what Harold said about InQuick can kind of be put together, where I think that Kerberos ends up being their main playmaker, but at the same time, as we saw in that other clip, I think that they have more urgency in the early game to get leads and to push those leads a little bit further. I think coming into this series after a bit of a break and not a consistent few losses, kind of reset, it's going to allow Kerberos to be as good as possible. I think Broad relies a little bit too much on Spark to do all of the damage, and even in games where Spark is like 11-0 and 12-0, he's not always able to carry, either just from the team not giving him the space to, or sometimes from mistakes on his own. So I think that's a big weakness of Broad, and I think if they just kind of isolate Spark in that front, it'll be easy for it. And I actually have InQuick winning 2-0 today, and this is where the prop will come. And we have a prop today because
he has props.
A man who I'm not going to say a man from a Venom Crest team, doesn't matter who it is. He wanted me to say a certain phrase, but I can't say it, so I'm just going to put up this sign. So as you can see, it is a nice friendly sign.
Whoa!
It's just got a nice star there. No, nothing wrong there. A good censored sign we have there. But that wasn't me saying this. This was a Venom Crest man, and I'm not paid by Venom Crest. Well, maybe they did in this scenario. But that's what I feel like is going to happen today.
Eyebrows have been raised, Frisky. Eyebrows have been raised, and you are as biased as ever, and I love you for it. Regardless, it is going to be a tall order for this series, especially when we're talking about the current patch as well. There are a lot of shifts especially in the jungle in the top side. But this is the bracket that we have right now. Belfast Storm just this week already took Rise Gaming 2-0, moving forward on the bracket, and now we have Intquick versus Brod&Friends. Later we'll have the lower bracket with Absolve GG versus Venom Crest, Bulldog versus Gucci as well. The teams on the upper bracket, this is not their last chance here. If they lose, they go down to the lower bracket to figure out who they're going to play against. Belfast Storm, they're waiting for the winner on this bracket to know who they have to beat to move to the grand finals directly. One would assume, at least, because Belfast Storm have been looking unstoppable right now.
I mean,
I think they're definitely looking like the top team. I think both of the ones we see here, I think regardless if we see even like a 2-0 from Intquick or a 2-0 from Broad, I think both are going to have to kind of really step it up for the match against Belfast Storm. I think they're, not only are all their players kind of hitting on the highest levels, Raider and Roulette are probably the strongest top jungle duo right now in the league. I forgot the mid laner's name. I should know this.
Limsey.
I'm imagining his plays.
Limsey.
Limsey, yes, of course. Shouldn't forget Limsey, of course. Shows my knowledge here. But I think any team is going to struggle against Belfast Storm's superior macro. I think they have the best macro after they were able to kind of implement Raider into the team more. You have the combination of him as arguably the strongest top player with the fact that their macro in general is so strong. I don't know how anyone takes Belfast, but who knows? It's UKEL. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen, indeed. But we are looking forward to see what happens in this series in particular, even though the opinion of the desk is divided. We still hope to see a very, very good game. A lot of pressure in the top lane. I feel like most teams have also realized that if you decided to start pressuring Kerberos, that a lot of good things may come your way. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Intquick know that pressure in the bot lane is going to be crucial. And I wanted to touch a little bit on the fact that we are on the new patch, the 0.16 patch, where a lot of things have changed. We have been seeing Kiana's in the jungle. We've been seeing Nico's in the jungle. We've been seeing Rek'Sai's roaming the top lane as well. And a lot of things. We know that the UKEL is known for all of these, for a lot of pocket picks as well. Do we expect anything different with the new patch here for these teams?
I mean, on a personal note, I would love to see a Mordekaiser as an answer into some more the AD Bruiser if the AD Bruiser meta that we've also seen from the jungle. Like Mordekaiser is one of the best matchups into the Wukong, but draft.
That is a very fulfilled draft. Oh, we yapped for so long we forgot the draft was occurring. Okay, Brod&Friends are going to start off on the blue side. Intquick are on the red side.
Are we at game 3 already? What are those bands at the bottom?
I know. What's with the draft from 2 games? We were late, I guess. My word.
I'm so sorry. It's a time difference.
All right. Yeah, the time difference for all of us. Three different time zones here. So all have to be worked out. I mean, what do we even have so far? The Varus band from Spark.
Varus, Sho'gath, Vayne. You already have Brod&Friends drafting into the ball delivery system with the Wukong and the Orianna. You have a big beefy top lane, meaning that the bot lane I would want to assume it's going to be Xayah Rakan because you need that carry potential from Brod&Friends. On Intquick's side, there's a lot of ambiguity because Nautilus has been buffed into the jungle, so beats me where that's going.
Also, we have...
That's a good point. At the same time, though, these names are swapped. So,
yeah,
Kerberos is on Brod&Friends now, so...
At the top, we have the right names, and then the player names are...
Wait, so Intquick are on blue side, right?
No, I would assume not, considering on blue side there's a Vayne ban and a Cho'Gath ban.
I'm so confused.
Let us know. Who do you think is playing on which team? Because we want to know as well.
Chat.
Let's put up a poll. Let's put up a poll.
Yeah.
Let the
Who do you
Gamba
want to see playing?
make the Gambas happy.
But I mean, on Intquick, you're already locking in like pretty good lockdown, pretty good single target, and team fight damage. You now need setup. You have the Nautilus, you need to layer something on top of that.
Huh?
As we see that Darius for Kerberos, one of his pocket picks of yesteryear, into the Sion, always been a pretty good matchup. I still remember, 2021 in the LEC, where BB whipped out the Darius against the Wunders Sion, and Pentakilled G2. So...
I remember that. But hey, it's not the same Darius as it used to be, even though it is a great lane against the Sion. Sion suffers a lot against the Darius. I'm still not sure where is what, which team is where. Brod&Friends are in blue and Quick are on red. But hey, the Rakan is locked in. That kind of matches with my thought train. Me and the Brod&Friends are on the same wavelength here.
Would
They're
assume.
probably stream sniping as they usually are, getting the feed in. They're like, hey, they're not prepping Jap. They're like, what do we?
I mean,
that's
do?
actually a good idea.
Yeah,
That's it.
Oh,
And
they're
they
not even
ruined
doing
it.
that.
They ruined
They're listening. They're like, oh, we can't do
Ah,
it
no.
now. Oh, never
No.
mind. See, but I do like the. I think you were right with the Zyricon. I think matching the kind of delivery system with the Oriata and the Wukong will do really well for them. I think that having a front line like Scion will kind of help all of this comp come together. Maybe a little bit lacking in terms of your early game urgency. I suppose you can get some roams with the Rakan, but it also depends on how InQuick are going to finish this out. If they put Nautilus in the jungle, never mind. They're putting that guy in the jungle instead. So, if anything, a bit of a slow jungle without some, unless the Nautilus comes and roams for InQuick as well. But this comp is clearly a let us just give as much space for Kerberos, give as much space for Artorias as possible. Let Beely try to get some picks, give the Nautilus and the Nautilus and the Ivern just kind of keep knocking people up, keep them in the same area, get a ton of damage, tons of damage, as Darius would say. So unintentional pun right there.
But that is such a hard comp to execute there from the red side.
I mean,
it's certainly a harder
composition.
one. You got a more traditional team fight on the side of Brod. It's a pretty easier to execute, but it's really just going to come down to these team fights. I mean, all the plays are kind of centered around where Otacon's going to be, how you're going to fight with Otacon.
Herald.
Let's see a Herald.
Because I'm seeing, we talked about the jungle mid duo combo here, and the jungle mid combo is an Ivern and an Ahri.
No.
No. No.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of pairing Ahri with Ivern. You need guaranteed CC. You need good lockdown. You need something like Avai. You need something like Jarvan even. Ivern Q is a slow skill shot.
It is. But then you have Daisy at level 6. It's such a weird composition here from
but at the same time,
Friends.
You're looking to go in with most of your champions, and then you have an AD carry that is neither mobile nor good at going aggressive. You want to take pitched fights and fight backwards with DMF. Same thing with Azaya. You don't necessarily, like, on the side of Brod&Friends, you have a composition that you have 4 champions that are excellent at brutally brawling and going in together, and then you have Azaya who's just there. Like, I love the Ziggs hover. The Ziggs hover made a lot of sense because you just throw the bombs on top of the combo, and it's just more and more damage to pile onto this CC. Just the ball of CC that you have. You have Cyclone, you have Shockwave, you have Unstoppable Onslaught and the Decimating Smash, you have the Grand Entrance and the Quickness. It's so much CC to throw down. If DMF was on the side of Brod, this would be like the perfect draft on the side of Brod. I'm not gonna lie. If you swap the AD carries around, it would probably been better. But here we are.
Again, how would you have the Zyricon? You know what? We'll leave it to our caster friends who will have to take these compositions into the Summoners List. So let's toss it over to J Real and Nick V, who are already waiting on standby with their thoughts for this game.
Hello and welcome back. You know it's a Thursday. You know it's the second slot of the UKEL because it's there. But either way, Nick V is joining me right here, right now. Back again. We have a game on our hands, and I'm not gonna lie, Nick. Maybe I'm just uncultured like this. I don't hate the drafts as much as the devs seem to. I guess my take is this, right? Okay, I get it, right? The comps aren't necessarily fully synergistic with the going in versus the wanting to kite, but when I think about the pick order, it's like, okay, both teams built a fairly solid composition from the get-go, right? You had like the Nautilus, the Misfortune, and then Damn, I'm forgetting the draft and getting them muddled up now. But you, and then the Ari as well, right? Which are all very standard. It's a very simple lock-in. I feel like it's not too crazy. You can kind of mold it any way you want. And then on the other side, you had the Wukong, you had the Scion, and you had the Orianna, which again, very, very like easy to mold, right? And then we see the Darius lock. And when I saw the Darius lock, it's like, okay, Darius, bit scary, good into the Scion, definitely can start to dominate that lane. And in my mind, I'm like, they're going to go top side. So you also have that Xayah that can kite out the Darius, you know, play that game a little bit longer. But then they throw the Ivan, and I'm like, IntQuick have basically just said, we're playing top side. You're not going to do anything about it. And you've locked in Xayah, so you're not going to be able to punish this misfortune as hard as you thought. So I feel like personally, IntQuick actually took the win on the draft, unless, now I'm monologuing a lot for a play-by-play today, right?
Okay.
Unless this Xayah gets ahead, which is Spark, Brod&Friends' heralded player, the one that we've talked about time and time again with carrying a game. And if we're talking about Kerberos getting fed on Darius, the one thing Darius is dangerous, or sorry, really doesn't like, is having to get kited out, and Xayah is perfect for it. So that's my breakdown.
Yeah, it has Rakan as well, right? I don't think that is any champion that will get near Xayah, but here we go, game number 1.
Game number 1. Now, what's your thoughts on the whole series, right? Because obviously we were talking about game 1, we're talking about the picks and bans. But how do you feel about these two matching up? Because they played each other before. There's a lot of legacy between these two as organizations, and also the players have known each other for quite a while.
Yeah, basically both of them have the same amount of wins and losses throughout the summer split, which is very, very interesting because it, like, statistically, it means that they are very capable of beating each other. It could be a 2-1 series. Very long series potentially, but of course it could also be a blowout if one team really gets to dominate. I think last time we saw IntQuick play, they really tried to shut down Kerberos, and they did it successfully. They knew that Kerberos is like the star player of IntQuick right now, so shutting his champion pool down, which is pretty hard to do, by the way, but they still managed to do it. That was their road to success. At the same time, they don't seem to do it right now. So Brod&Friends, they have a different tactic here. As you said, both organizations, they know each other quite well, and they're definitely playing into each other.
They are indeed. But I'm excited to see where the gangs go, right? Because at the moment, obviously, we got the Ivan sliding into the top side, the Wukong. Yeah, I couldn't see for a second because he was underneath, I think, one of the scoreboards. Was on the top side as well, looking for the invade, looking to see where the Ivan starts. And I feel like this does dictate how they play. I am imagining, now this, maybe I'm delusional here, but Mr. Sickle, you have to be playing for the top side. And we're seeing that right now, right? Going into their bot side. And it's going to be the opposite from Paul, because I feel like this is just the setup, right? We want to see Brod go bot lane. We want to see 5IQ go top lane. Who wins from their power pick?
Yes, I think Akker's job is to go at the very least even with Kerberos, or, you know, at least not int, don't die. Make sure that Kerberos can't get ahead as much as he would be. It's pretty hard to do with the Scion, I guess, Darius, but at the same time, Spark is I'm gonna say main character of this game. I think he is the one you would need to put all of your resources into to make sure he gets as far ahead as he can. I think they do have the stronger bot lane statistically, and it's going to be interesting, I think, what they can do off of it. I do see a Nautilus engage.
Yeah, potentially, although we've panned away from it, so I'm going to say that there wasn't anything that we need to talk about, and we're gonna move away swiftly from that one as we go into Ivan clearing, which I feel like, you know, Ivan obviously can get a really fast start of the clear.
Yeah, it's dangerous though, right? Like if Wukong would just go for an invade together with it should have been in the bottom side, I guess. Misfortune and Nautilus, they get to push a little bit harder, and Darius does as well. So I do think that Paul recognizes, like, okay, all my lanes should be losing in the early stages of this game. So let me not invade, let me get an easy clear, and not take the risk, basically.
Yeah, and like it's early doors. We got time, because one thing that we also have to mention is it's not just about the early game, right? Both these teams scale really nicely, right? Misfortune, Ari, always going to be problematic. Darius obviously scales well, I think it's just more dependent on how well he can fight, right? I think
It's like
more,
an asterisk. After that,
it's like he's good if he's allowed to touch someone, right? If he can't land any hits, then he's doing clearly no damage. So I think that's really the condition there coming in for 5IQ. But on Broadside, right, obviously, do we even need to talk about Sion scaling, right? Like, come on, man. And then the Xayah late game is just going to go crazy. And Orianna is just, it's a tale as old as time, Orianna Shockwave in the late game.
Orianna just always works. Like, for some reason, Orianna always finds herself back into the meta. It's like you said, it's a tale since the beginning of League of Legends. She was meta season 2, 3, and it's like, not right now, she's pretty early into the meta, because I always felt like Riot makes her strong around the world stages. But we've been seeing her quite a lot, and I feel like she's just strong because she has a ultimate that displaces people, right? Displacement CC is something that you cannot cleanse. You can't do anything about it once it hits. So characters like that you see right now in the meta. Azir, Talia as well. They make sure they can dictate the game and dish out all of the damage through that. And specifically AoE comps, they're really easy to execute, I feel like. And they're also at the same time very powerful right now. So it's dangerous to try and go anti-meta at this moment.
I'd love to get a statistic of like what were the champions played in all of the finals of Worlds, right? Because it's like all of the games, what were the champions played? What were the win conditions? Because I feel like Ori, I want to know what's the most popular champion that got played. Because I feel like Ori has to be up there. I'm thinking Syndra could also be up there. Also like some Renekton. I'm actually glad that the meta in top lane has shifted a bit away from Renekton being picked so much. I like that we're getting a little bit of differential, at least in the UKEL, maybe not in the bigger leagues.
I think characters that we can also mention, definitely Azir is one of the champions that always finds his way back. Annie, I think, is also a champion that for some reason we get to see Annie supports out of a sudden. Now she gets picked mid again to counter those mages that are so strong with the team fighting. In the top side, Rumble is one that's always in pro play. Always. You cannot nerf him. He got buffed, actually. Well, he got fixed for a solo queue, and now his win rate shot back up to like 54% or something.
Now, you make a good point there with the Rumble. I didn't even think about the Rumble like that. But yeah, you are correct. As we are going to go back into game. Someone died. Okay, someone died in the
Ori died.
Mid lane, bot lane, mid lane. It was mid lane. It was QQR. There was a roam from Prosphere, and they managed to pick up a kill. So we missed that one, but we're here in the top side with the Ivan setting up for Kerberos. Aka's going to be slowed down quite a bit, but I think should be able to walk out a little bit, but maybe this will slow him just enough to get apprehended. There's the root. There is the Darius, and Aka's is just going to have to go down here. No flash. And will finally fall down. So, Kerberos with an early kill. We've already got one in the mid lane. Map movements from 5IQ, apparently getting them some dubs.
Yeah, and like with Sion, this is specifically where you do not want to die. If you die, do it in your lane so you can at least shove the wave a little bit, get those minions to the enemy tower, make sure the wave resets. In this case, he tried to escape, valiant effort, but did not go there. And it also means that there's no flash available. It seems that he had to flash pretty early, if I see it correctly.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's already half done, so that's about 2.5 minutes. So pretty much as he went to lane, I think there was some sort of flash shenanigan.
Exactly. So actually, we have not really talked about the runes yet, right? We do see that there's another gank in the top lane coming. I'll hold that for a bit.
Oh, Mr. Tickle. Okay, I thought he was just going to go straight for it, going to get the root caller, but instead, no.
True. I mean, I think part of this has to do with Sion's, when he goes into his passive, his respawn timer is already ticking, so he immediately respawned after dying in the jungle and then teleported straight away. So Darius didn't really have the time to go back to base and buy an item, and it means that Sion is more tanky now, whereas Darius still does the same damage, and that also means at the same time that Sion has more time to run away because of it.
Well, They're agreeing with your synopsis. They're not going for that gank in the top side. And in the bot lane, we did see Pork going for some invades. Still hasn't put themselves on the map. But you know what? I can kind of forgive that as the Wukong, right? Get level 6, then really start to put the pressure down at this moment in time. Just happy to keep themselves farming, trying to get themselves a little bit of a lead, maybe impact Mr. Tickle a bit, and then take the game from there.
Yeah, you can also see that he was going to maybe cross over to the enemy side of the jungle, but took a Scuttle Crab instead. Now Sion is back in danger.
Back again. Root Caller lands. Trigger Seed is probably triggering Akers already. The slows are just never ending, and there is the Apprehend to bring him straight back into danger. One more auto should do it. The bleed gonna tick out, and a bit more damage will be applied. So 2 kills over to Kerberos. It's exactly what you said you don't want to see.
Yeah, at least he dies in the lane right now, so he got a little bit of XP and gold off of it, but at the same time, you don't have teleport now. It does mean that together with that cannon, I don't think he's gonna get it. Maybe with the unstoppable, actually. Oh, barely!
Ooh.
Yo, that's a big W.
And he gets the back minions. Hey, I think he only missed like 2 minions there.
Yeah, that's a lot of HP that he gains from his stack as well.
As right now we are going to see a bit of trading in the bot lane. And damn, okay, Artorias is doing so much damage onto Zeta already. The Misfortune obviously notorious for their quick burst power, but already starting to feel their potential as Prospect. Going to go aggressive here again. We've also got the Ivan. This is another setup, an easy kill for Artorias. And Brod are just overstepping. They can play the game slow.
Yeah, I think with all of the roams towards top lane, maybe they thought like, okay, this Ivan is going to cross map on the top side and we'll just overtake the bottom side, but then just walked into the Ivan and into the Nautilus, and combined they took him down. So has to teleport back, and again, Spellbook is still here, so Zeta was able to get to the bot lane quite quickly.
Spellbook. It's a strange one. I quite like it because it's fun, but it also gets me confused a lot. When I see a TP, I'm like, why are they TPing? And then it's like the support pops up. Or we've seen so many steals from supports on Smite. So, you know, it's a big game changer. But one thing that isn't changing is the fighting in the top side. Akers is once again stacked onto, and that's a lot of damage from the guillotine. Is the bleed enough? The pots are ticking over, but it's going to still kill.
Yeah, it definitely still kills. I think the smite steals won't happen as much anymore. Oh, yeah.
It may not make a difference. Right now, Brod need to not worry about smites. They need to worry about the state of the game, Nick. 5-0, a 1,500 gold lead, basically. And, okay, they did get the objective for their side, but it's looking really strong for 5IQ at this moment.
Yeah, what I wanted to say actually is that Smite on Spellbook got nerfed, so it only does 800 damage at like late game, which is not as strong as a normal Smite. Okay, you see ult expanded to crash the wave and then goes for a reset. Smart by Artorias, and at the same time we do see Wukong going for the Void Corrupt. I do think that will be going uncontested if he really wants to. Ivan is just doing the camps for the XP and gold. That is absolute, there's no risk in that. At the same time, Drake is not spawning for quite a while because that's also taken by Brod&Friends. So if we talk about neutral objectives, Brod is definitely winning right now.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they got proactive, that they got themselves some neutral objectives. It gives them a footing back into the game for sure, and also delays how long that they have before they really need to be stressed about fighting over a dragon, right? They could give the next dragon, they could give the one after that, and they're not going to be concerned about it being soul point already. So I like this from them. Early proactivity, even though the lanes aren't going the best, they're still playing the map really well.
Zaya is 20 CS ahead, but not going to fall here. Artorias is going to push again. I felt like a freeze would actually be on the map pretty soon, if you really wanted to. Guess he didn't really have the means for it.
But instead, it's just going to be pushed in. I like this from Kerberos as well, like putting that pressure under Akers, because Akers obviously losing a little bit out in the CS. But I will say, you know, obviously the kills are going to mean a lot, but Akers still keeping themselves quite close in the farming department. Obviously we're going to have to see how much this does start to fluctuate though, like with those kills. If that tower goes down early as well in that top lane, I feel like things could get really dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like that is just the Sion job, right? You just make sure you stay about even in the CS department, and if you don't purely go even, but you know, at least you get the gold, you get the XP, that's all great, because Sion, he scales without items as well. People tend to forget, like, yo, if he kills a minion, he gets HP.
And it's quite a lot as well. Like you could be rocking around with quite a bit of HP after a little bit of farming, as right now we are going to see some pressure towards the mid lane. That's the charm landing, but not going to land any full CC except onto QQR, who gets caught by the side of it. Shockwave is utilized, but it's another clean play from 5IQ. And I've got to say, Prosper is putting his team on his back right now. Everywhere he goes, there's a kill.
True. It's just sad that the kill actually goes to him as well. You kind of want that on the carries. But, you know, at least Nautilus gets to be more tanky earlier. Ultimate use from Kerberos wants to get that Sion back to his base as soon as he can. Actually, a kill being picked up.
Wait, bot lane was the kill. Porp getting a nice gank there. And Prospect, I don't know if Prospect will go down here. Nice flash, gets knocked up anyway. Might go down, but a really nice redemption keeps him alive. Mr. Tickle in the vicinity too with the shields. But nice from Porp. Get that kill onto that side. Get them into the game. Because as we already said, there's already a lead for Spark over Artorias.
Yeah, and I feel like we are going to see that much more often now that top lane is basically established. Sion just loses to Kerberos right now. Akers is just there to survive, and at this point, I think he is too tanky to really get a gank off of him with an Ivern and Darius. At the same time, Kerberos should be strong enough as well. But if we talk about the jungle matchup, I do think that Wukong should be able to take care of Ivern on his own. So they are looking for a gank in the mid lane, but they do call it off. So in this case, they do go as a pack, as a squad. Support mid lane will be hovering as well to get a catch if they find it. Zeta does spawn out. That water will be cleared. At the same time, Spark going for initiation.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's hard, I feel like, for Spark to actually start off the fight here, but 5IQ were looking for it. They're not going to be able to land their CC, though, so we'll just have to back away. And now with, obviously, Zeta in the area, I feel like it's just difficult to dive Zaya, Rakan in general. But they are setting up for this dragon, and it is going to be difficult for Brod to walk in.
True, they cleared the wards. They are as a 3-man squad already. The wave is pushed in, so they have much more time to really set up for the Drake if they want to. Wukong is not really there to fight yet. I think the biggest question is how is mid lane going to play out, because Beely right now, it keeps shoving Orianna in. Yes, Orianna does have a CS lead, but at the same time, 5IQ has the tempo lead, and I think that is much more important to dictate these neutral objectives, as they do right now with the Dragon, than what Brod&Friends is getting back.
Yeah, I would actually like to have a look at the gold, because at the moment it's 2,000 gold in the lead to 5IQ. 1.5 actually, maybe. But I feel like most of it's going to be on Kerberos. So actually, I am wondering, could Brod potentially go for these fights early on? I do respect the relaxed play as well, like just giving it over, you know, being smart about it. Don't get into these early fights and lose any more than you have to. But I do wonder. I want to see if we can get that gold production at any point. But I want to talk to you also. Oh no, here we go. Before we go into this, 1,300 of that gold lead is over onto that Darius, and the rest of it's pretty even, as we are going to see it might go a little bit higher. Akka's really beautiful flash to get them away, as in the bot lane, another gank coming out from the Wukong. Here goes Brod to pick up more gold onto Spark.
Yeah, this is too much, what's the word? Focus on the top lane, Artorias.
Downtown with the knockover. And able to get a bit more damage onto Artorias. This could be a dive in the waiting. They've got 4 members here. Yes, the Ivan's coming, but look at Artorias on their own. Underneath their tower, they will fall.
Yeah, and well done at the same time. Wukong gets to walk out. He does find an assist at the very least, and they get the kill on exactly who they want. Of course, there is pressure on the mid lane, but the tower won't fall. QQR is right there. So let's look at the state of the game, right? You got Drake spawning in 3.5 minutes, so there's nothing to really fight for as of now. The Rift Herald will be spawning, and with all of the pressure... Okay, I was gonna say, like,
no, don't
you
get
can
made.
interrupt me right there if you want.
Keep talking your talk, Nick.
So because Kerberos has all the pressure that he wants to in the top lane, you can just bully Sion out of there. As long as there's no rotation from Brod&Friends, as you can see on your screen right now, they could just go for the Rift Herald as long as they just ignore the bot lane, basically. But I feel like Mr. Tickle wants to do a little bit too much in this game, so he tries to help out bot lane as well when it's needed. But I feel like he should be hovering the top side, because that's where all the pressure is for them. And that's why he can just safely do whatever he wants.
And this is wild from Paul. Starting up with no one around, Darius is in lane. Like, that is some dangerous stuff. And look at, talk about dangerous. QQR in major trouble here, looking to potentially go down. Flashes away, but Ari is in there. But Beely needs to be careful. Pop is in the vicinity, but the shield from the Ivan is massive. And that is exactly why Mr. Diggle's playing this pick.
That's exactly the sustainability that Ivern gives your whole team. There's so many shields and such a low cooldown as well. Make sure that Beely gets to walk out. They do get a kill on QQR. There's a good roam from a Spark and Zeta to say like, okay, then we just take over in the mid lane. So Beely can't go back yet. Has to not safely farm the cannon. I'm not sure if you want to go for that engage. Crosshair.
Yeah, interesting choice.
Yes, but the Rift Herald is still a objective right now, and with Spark in the mid lane, there is much more pressure throughout the entire map, because mid lane is very central, and it means that the pressure that Kerberos is creating normally in the top lane, it basically gets nullified, because now Brod has the pressure in the mid lane.
Interestingly, they're sending Kerberos to the bot side, so it looks like they're also giving up Herald pressure too, potentially for some future Dragon pressure, and maybe a little pressure on the tower. QQR, nice ward, will keep him safe. I gotta ask you, okay, we're talking about things that are a little bit strange. Darius's build, Spear of Shojin Darius. Hold on 1 second though, because in the mid lane, Spark, he's going to be able to avoid that knife, that root caller that could have potentially ended his life. Yeah, Spear of Shojin Darius. Have you seen it before?
I feel like I don't, but at the same time, I understand why you would build it. Like, it gives so much damage and HP, but someone who needs more HP is Pop, I guess.
See you later, Paul.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. It gets the objective, trades it over, goes for the feet, does secure it, but is going to lose their life in the pursuit of it. And it is now going to be a push from Mr. Tickle there, able just to kind of force Brod back, take the tower, and that is actually going to be the feat of strength completed by 5IQ. Or maybe not, actually. No, wait, it was Brod. It was Brod that got it.
Yeah.
Because they got the tower in the top lane.
And that's just the pressure that Sion gives you, right? If you leave him alone, then he can just do whatever. Even with Beely trying to go for like a flank, go for a clear, Akis is just going to solo push this tower until he's done, and
Akis is cold for that dodge, by the way.
Yeah, true. I will say though, there's no chance for Beely to kill Akis, because this is vegan Ari. This is a malignant Ari. No scaling.
Damn. That's a feels bad. Look at this. This should not be allowed in League of Legends, by the way. I know Akis is playing it. I know it's good for Brod or whatever, but Sion needs to go. Right? We're having a Wenger out moment, but for Sion out. I know we've had Rob out in the stream, but Sion out might need to be a thing. If Riot don't remove it, maybe UKL got to remove it.
Luke, I swapped over personally to weak side top. I just pick Sion and I win every game. It is ridiculous, that champion. But, you know, as long as it exists, make use of it. Can they get this tower before the Rift Herald crashes into it? Yes, they can. Okay. So they potentially get 2 charges. Rakan might be in a bit of danger, but there's enough minions to really frontline it. So at least there's a little bit more damage. In the end, Pop might be getting caught here, but was walking away fast enough. Okay, we do see Sion recalling, and then he has to teleport pretty soon, so I imagine he will go to the bot lane. Yeah, there he walks. Make sure that he can relieve QQR of his duty right now, because he cannot lane against a Darius. And make sure that Thrower will survive for just a little bit longer, but eventually Kerberos will get that tower regardless.
Oh, engage from downtown. Oh, okay. The ghost is going to get him out of there for a little bit longer, but actually there are 4 members here. Darius is gone immediately. Spark with the pickup gold as well, so the right person gets the right amount of gold. And Brod, I know it's 4-9, but I feel like they are very much back in this game.
Yeah, because all of the gold is on Kerberos, and he did build a Spear of Shojin. It means that he opts for more damage and less tankiness, and this is the result. He gets blown up no matter who he faces, while Sion, he's going to continue building armor, so eventually this Darius is not even going to do anything against him.
He is not indeed, as right now we are going to see a play on that top side, but Pulp is really strong at the moment, plus the TP coming in from Akers, forcing back once again 5 IQ, but they may have gone too far here. Prospect with a nice hook onto Spark. He's going to draw him in, but doesn't have the damage, and the knockups coming through onto Artoria. Secure another kill for Brod.
Definitely a kill. Oh, there might be more. Okay, they spot him out with the scouter. They walk away. Prosper, that ward is not worth your life. Teleport into the mid lane, so Ahri will fly in. And, well, again, not much to fight for right now, but Inquick is definitely trying to go for something. Around Kerberos they gather, but they get nothing out of it. They really want to get something back. They want to force a fight. They do not get it. And, like, with the damage we saw on the Sion, even from the Darius, I do wonder who is going to kill him post 25 minutes. I think no one.
It's yeah. I was trying to think. I was like, who is gonna kill him? That's a good point. I feel like
look,
we're talking about
we have an
right?
Ahri. Yeah, we have an Ahri with a Malignance, who basically like it. Yes, it's a cheap item, but you also hold that thought.
Okay, well this is a win right now, coming in for 5 IQ. You know, you don't need to worry about the Sion if you can kill Spark. I feel like that's a big caveat to your point.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, right? Who is dealing with Akka's late game, right? You got Misfortune, doesn't really do the best into tanks. Ivan's not doing anything. Ahri will take 3,000 years to kill that tank.
I think he will regen more.
Darius is going to be strong though. Darius could potentially still deal with him.
Yeah. But Darius is more of like a bursty champion that can also chase someone down, but never do the DPS that you need him to. While Sion doesn't really care that much because half of that burst damage is mitigated by the shield that he has. But at least they get a lot of XP back now. They do trade it for a tower, but I think that's worth it for Inquick. They get their XP boost to get back into the game. You see that the mid laner is now a level ahead. But as far as the others concerned, they get to tie with their lane opponents right now. So there's a power spike back. And like a level up is basically worth 350 gold stat-wise. So if you calculate it like that, everyone got a level up. So just do it times 5. I'm not great at maths.
Yeah, 1,500.
But it should be like 1,700,
right? Don't worry. Don't worry, I got you on that one. I got you. Yeah, it's a lot of gold, right? It's a lot of gold in their pocket. Even
Look at the
though
shield,
it's
still
not
up.
actually there. And like you said, yeah, the shield is still there. But talking about shields, Mystical is here as well. This should be a completely secured kill.
Yes.
And it will be Akkas going down once again. But does it give Brod position? That's the question, Nick. Have they now secured their chance around this dragon? The answer is no, because QQR's dead.
It was a pretty easy answer as the second one died right there. They do set up a kill brush. Spark and Pop will be spotted out. So I was going to say, Sproshla, just throw a hook in there, bro.
Oh, but what if you pick the wrong person? Like, what if he gets Rakan? You know, like maybe it doesn't end perfect for them. But they don't. They also don't need to play with fire, right? They don't need to try this one, Nick V, because they can just move to the dragon with all 5 members, with Kerberos with them, and there is no Sion to frontline. There is no Orianna to shockwave. You know, they can just get all they want for free.
Yep, and there's a third Drake as well. It means they are a soul point. Yes, the next Drake will spawn in 5 minutes, but it will be the most important Drake. Well, maybe the second most important, depending on how long it will take. But it means that 5 IQ, once they get the soul, it should be a mountain soul, correct?
Yeah, no. It's going to be Hextech. Or Chemtech even.
Ooh. Wait, that is crazy for Darius. He can just chase you down forever.
Yep. It's I guess it's not the best, right? It's not okay. I think there are other ones you'd pick, right? I feel like giving maybe like Ocean or Mountain, I think, would be a bit more dangerous. Potentially even the Hex Tech, because it slows, I think, on autos. Whereas I feel like Chem Tech, it just gives you more sustainability, right, if you're lower, which obviously works nicely for Darius as well. But I don't think it's winning awards for Best Dragon anytime soon, as we are going to see a bit of a... I feel like we're in a bit of a weird state now in the game, because Brod are so dangerous, but at this moment in time, 5IQ are starting to claim more and more of the map, and it does feel like Brod are starting to slip a bit behind. And as you said, okay, Brod are going to be really, really dangerous in the late game, but they have to get there.
I think the reason why they get to stay in this game a little bit more is, well, picks like these.
Big bullet time over the top. Kubros coming around from the back. The flank is there. A shutdown is going to be gifted over to the Rakan. As in goes the flash. Curb takes down the Spark, and they're looking for more. Ivan with the setup. 2 kills over to Artorias, and no chance for Brod to turn it.
They thought they had a pick, but never a pick when Kerberos flanks your AD carry, snipes him down. All the gold for Brod&Friends is on that AD carry. So once he's gone, there's nothing left for Brod&Friends to dish out in a fight.
Forward. QQR able to stay alive. Help from Zeta is massive, and we do still have Akkas on the side. Baron is starting to whittle down the HP, reducing the armor, but... well, actually, they're going to do it. There is no but. They forced away 5IQ from doing the Baron. I thought they were going to continue because I think that 4v3 still goes in their favor.
It should go in their favor, but I don't think at this point it's worth to go for a Baron flip if you're Mr. Tickle. You won a team fight just now very convincingly. You were able to take away Spark out of the equation, and because of it, they're like, yeah, actually, let's just do that next time again. And then we can take the Baron once the Wukong is dead as well. I think it's just not worth going for a flip like that.
Okay, well, we can see the gold still up for 5IQ, right? Mid lane ahead, top lane ahead, jungle ahead. The only time they are slightly down, and I do mean slightly, is on that ADC role, and it's significantly been reduced since that last team fight. So Artorias very much level with Spark, and that is not something Brod&Friends fans want to hear. That is a tongue twister.
Yeah, they'll try to say that 3 times in a row, but yeah, getting 5 kills on the Misfortune, it does alleviate the gold difference regarding the minions. Like, there's 280 for Spark and only 220 for Artorias, so definitely a big gap. I think if like Artorias didn't get the kills just now that he really got, I think that difference would be more like 2k to maybe like a full item difference.
Yeah.
As Baron's being forced once again, I do wonder, is 5IQ going to spot this out?
I think they know it's happening, and I don't know if Brod have the timing here. 5,000 health, there's still a lot to get through Baron. Mr. Tickle's looking to go forward. Prospect able to drag through Zeta, who's just trying to buy some time. Does stop Ivan from getting in the pit. Baron is taken from Brod, but can they get out safely? Shockwave is big. 3 members, but they step back. QQR thought it could be something and needs to just run. Will not get away, but it's only 1 for Baron.
Only 1 and 4 members remain with the Baron buff, and it sets up such a big thing for Brod&Friends right now, because they can get all the pressure that they want to onto Int Quick. And as you can see on the minimap right now, there's only 1 more outer turret left standing. All of the other towers are already in the base. It means they have a lot of space to create, where they can just push 2 or maybe 3 waves all the way to the enemy base, and then they can just rotate to a dragon, get a lot of time before Insquick can retaliate. But it does seem like dragon.
It's up.
They are going for
seconds.
an early play.
This is Soul Point coming in for 5IQ. They've already got Zeta locked down. They're trying to chase a bit further, but they're not going to be able to catch up onto the Rakan. Brod need to get themselves in position. 10 seconds till the spawn, and they haven't even got QQR here. But Shockwave ultimates, they are all back available, and Brod are starting to walk in. They want to take some space. The hook lands onto Akkas, but as we said, very, very tanky in the front line.
Yeah, they do go for a disengage. They're basically just trying to bully them off the Drake.
They are playing the waiting game. I wonder if they can actually wait out Daisy completely at this point in time. Half of the cooldown left. Akkas happy to tank the dragon at this moment in time. still just able to stay forward as we are going to see Kerberos moving in though, but taking a lot of damage from Spark, getting knocked up. That's so much of his health gone. Doesn't get the ultimate off. The bullet time will buy some space for the side of 5IQ. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but it is the jungler for the top laner. Kerberos so dangerous, but no smite for Brod. They need to make something happen soon. And right now on the side of this play is Beely doing a lot of work, but in goes the Xayah. The damage is there. Mr. Tickle goes down, and Brod have taken 4. Only Beely left alive. Dragon on the table, and Brod are leaving it up.
Yeah, a triple kill for Spark, and they are going to look to finish the game. The towers were already gone. They have a Baron buff. They have the powered minions as well. They have Akkers to tank up the turret. This is gonna finish it here.
They're going to try at least. Akkers moving forward. As you said, with the Baron buff, Beely going to have a tough time clearing through these minions fast enough. And there's the charge forward into the towers. Damage is locked in. One already broken, but here comes Kerberos. The Darius is back on the map. The tower does fall. 2 done. Nexus exposed. And Brod will back away.
I think it's a very smart one. You still have the Baron buff to go back to base and then go for like a reset. The Drake is still up as well, so I do see that they are going for that one specifically as we go into a little
Little
pause. We need. I mean, it's not really a pause. I think it's the buffer. But so we can talk about the game state right now, right? We have the minimap right there. We see that Brod&Friends is going for that Drake. They want to force it. I will also say at the same time, Int Quick has already respawned and is still, because of the respawn, full health. So if they want to take a fight, take it now.
That is a message I would echo, but I don't think they're going to get the opportunity. I think Brod will be able to get away here. They should just recall. They should just go back to base, reset themselves, and now they just need one fight. That is all it takes. They've also, by the way, taken the gold lead.
Yo, that's what we're in for, right? The race to as much gold as we can get. They will be doing all of the camps that they can get. Mr. Tickle ahead in levels right now, but I feel like the wombo combo that Brod&Friends can use in 18 fight is really starting to pop up. You can see Orianna deals massive amount of damage with the shockwave. And Misfortune and Ahri, they don't have as much wave clear as a Xayah and Orianna. I mean, even Xayah alone is able to do.
I was thinking that a little bit earlier, right? When we saw QQR get that 3-man shockwave after the Baron, I was like, actually, had they just sent it, you know,
yeah,
that could have been a free knockup for Sion, a free knockup for Wukong, like, and they were already half HP. Like, that could have been an easy cleanup, but I do respect it a lot from Brod there. I think it was the right decision to walk away because you didn't know that they were going to get all lumped up in that pick, and you don't want something crazy to happen and then you lose all your Baron buff. So I think it's a smart play. It is the correct play, and they've really utilized that buff. Now taking even more towers, now putting even more pressure onto 5IQ and looking to take through these final sequences.
Yeah, I feel like at this point you don't push into the top turret anymore. I would say try and get a little bit of more gold as Kerberos is chasing down Akkers, but he will be unstoppable. So he just gets out, push out the waves, go back to base, buy your items because that Baron is spawning in a minute.
1 minute, as you said, and Akkers gonna have some time on this bot lane, right? It's pushed decently far down, so we'll be able to slowly push this one in, and I feel like it actually sets up pretty nicely on the timer for this Baron. So the big question, you asked it earlier, who is going to match Akkers right now?
I feel like it needs to be a combined effort, if at all. Akkers, do you have enough gold for an item? Or just go back now, bro. I guess he just stay up. He'll stay up. He does have a teleport, while Kerberos does not, and they both play on the bottom side. It's like the perfect the top lane textbook, right? If a objective is going to spawn on one side of the map, you go across the map with a teleport and you just push over there. You make sure that one person from the opposing team has to match you. Specifically, if they don't have teleport, that's even better because you can make a 4 versus 5. They did send Beely, but as we saw earlier, can do nothing against Sion.
Akkers just walking him down. We've got to say Akkers is ahead in gold on Kerberos as well, but there's a fight in the mid lane right now. Porb getting dragged in. Will use the Cyclone. So much CC onto this Darius, but hasn't taken too much damage just yet. The Cyclone is going to be utilized again, but right now a really nice shockwave was holding the line. Rakan down though, does give an advantage back to 5IQ.
Teleport, they're going for the Baron.
TP. This feels like a lot being utilized here from Brod. I feel like Akers could have just kept putting pressure onto the top, but they want to commit to the Baron. They're doing it very quickly though, but they still have to be careful. Mr. Sickle is in the vicinity, can get over the wall. 4,000 on the Baron, not a lot of time left, but Darius has taken it down. Spark, it's starting to get dangerous. They take the Baron, can they get out? Kerberos is going on a rampage right now. Another one falls in the top side to the Misfortune, and Akers is the last alive. Brod have gone too close to the sun, and they are starting to get burned.
What a disaster! Going for that team fight. There was an early pick from Artorias, and then they still tried to force a fight. They thought, okay, now that Artorias has used the ultimate, they cannot fight anymore, but they forgot about Kerberos. Wait, Daisy, where the hell did you go to?
They had a lot of CC, but they didn't do the damage onto the Darius. Akers will probably die sometime soon. But it's just a really, really nice play from 5IQ. The Baron might be off the table, but Brod don't have it either. And the Dragon is up in 50 seconds, by the way. So Akers should actually try and die faster than this.
I mean, let's be real. This tells us a lot about the future. Like, if Akers gets to go full build, he'll be unstoppable. Like, not just his ultimate, but he will be unstoppable.
And he's got to be back in 30 seconds, because in 30 seconds Dragon's there, and that is Soul Point, and he's not going to be there. So once again, Brod put in a bad position by an overextension from themselves. It's something we talked about a lot in the regular season, and it could be a curse that they bring here. However, I will say this. If they do keep Spark alive, it is very hard for 5IQ to play the game.
True, but at the same time, they don't have a front line. It has to be Wukong, and Wukong is like more of a bruiser that is going to get blown up pretty fast. So this is going to be a very difficult fight.
I don't think I think Pulp's going to go for the steal, and I don't think it's the right call. Don't go for the play. It's not worth it. I don't think the soul is even that useful. He's going in. He's going for it. He gets it. He does manage to get the steal, but what's the cost? What's the fallout? Beely moving into the backline. They've taken down Pulp. There is no other objective on the map, so they might be able to get away with this if they can keep their towers alive. Although Prosper. Okay, Prosper's gonna leave.
All right, so this is a 5 versus 4 situation. No ultimates have been blown yet. So Quick is still looking for a fight.
We're gonna get some here. Bullet time. They get the pick onto the #1. Look at it's Spark. They've taken down. They've also forced Akers away, and this is what I'm talking about. It's a 4 versus 5. The numbers are down. Brod are still playing like they have 5v5, and now they're losing their base.
Yeah, they might actually lose the game here as well. Orianna has Shockwave, but that's it. How are they going to fight back? They're going to force it.
How do they fight back? The wave clear. It needs to come in. They need the wave clear to come in. Massive here right now under the towers. There's a lot of fighting. Kerberos is starting to tank the tower, but look at the damage. They've already taken down Orianna. Akers is half HP. They're still able to keep the pressure up. The wave is coming in again. 12 seconds on Spark, and they need every second they've got, and they don't have many right now, Nick. Another death, another problem. Akers with but look at the wave. The towers are gone. The game is over, and it is going to be 5IQ taking game 1.
Why take the risk of getting that Drake? Like, we discussed it. The sole point was not that important for Quick, but you sacrifice your life for it. You got it, but you sacrifice your life for it. Then in a 4v5, you still want to go and clear the minions. Spark gets caught, and it's just over from that point.
If I'm honest, the sequence was before that, right? It's the play in mid. They lose their support. They still feel comfortable to play the fight. They go to Baron with the TP from Akers. They lose all of their members. Akers doesn't die until really, really late. Like, he should have just basically, in my mind, he should have stayed and fought. Obviously, it's easy with hindsight, so I'm not going to say, like, obviously the players, when you're in the game, it's very difficult. I'm not trying to say this, but it's like, they lose that fight. Then they lose another one. They try and overextend for the dragon. And it's like, I think the classic situation for Brod is just they really try and play to their max potential, because they are really, really good players, but they sometimes just don't account for the fact that being one person down is just sometimes too hard of a hill to climb, you know? it is what it is. It's only game one. There's still a series. They can still come back and win 2-1. But 5IQ are with the advantage. We're going to send this one over to Des to break it down. Rod, they need to fix up sharp.
Well, thank you, Jay Real. One of us really happy about the result, and I think nobody's had. Oh, actually, I was muted. My apologies. So, thank you, Jay Real. It was a great honor to witness this perfect match. As you can probably tell out of this desk, two people aren't as happy as one of us among us, and one person got the predictions right. I feel like this was a roller coaster of a game, and I'd be happy to break it down. Because, truth be told, as expected, Kerberos started dominating the early game, right? He was absolutely enabled. But there was a point in time, and I want to start with Harold, where Intquick kind of dropped the ball for Spark, and Sparks really almost started to shine there for a moment.
I mean, you might say like some of us are disappointed in the result of the game. I'm not disappointed in the result. I'm disappointed in the gameplay. I'll be honest, like that was just bad from both sides. Like it was a game of throws, and it was just about to see which team would catch the most throws. Like it's that simple because both teams somehow failed to play around their win con. Like
Is that a fair assessment? Do we feel? I feel like they've played around their win cons, and I feel like Ivern was a big standout on the draft. A lot of questions were raised about the draft in of itself, but it ended up working for Int Quick and Frisky. We saw the power of the Mosquito Ari with the charms actually turning the tide of this game here.
Well, to start, I certainly agree with Harold. I agree that this is just, it was an exciting game, but it was definitely a game of just pure messy decisions. I don't know why they went for that drag, Broad went for that drag at the end. I don't know why Inquick was half hitting the Baron and letting the Baron just chunk it while getting pushed off by Broad. It's just, I mean, Beely, I was going to maybe criticize a bit because we were criticizing in the green room because he had kind of a weird build path. We didn't really expect the Malignant, Shadow Flame, Rabadons to be what was needed, especially when it was already feeling like a team that lacked damage. But in big games like this, it's all about the little plays that catch. And Beely was hitting charm after charm after charm. And in my opinion, that was the thing that won them the game. They needed setup for Artorias to do as much bullet time damage as possible, and Beely gave it to them. Just these really smart charms, getting around the big Scion, going for QQR, going for Spark. He hit them over and over again, and that's what got them the game. I mean, you almost say could Broad have kind of finished the game when they could have sprinted down after killing both Nexus turrets, but that will be something we never know.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably not.
It's always hard to say because you got to a point like I think Jay Real and Nick touched it the best. There was not really a need to contest this last dragon. I feel like it wasn't necessarily terrible, but it started from behind. I feel like the fact that the Baron was contested as well kind of flipped the ball there for Brod&Friends, who weren't as ahead as they thought they were. But ultimately, it led to a 37-minute and 55-second, nearly a 40-minute game. And again, that I just realized, Beely didn't die, did he?
He did not.
No. I only had 3 kills, but obviously, he's one where the charms...
second highest damage on the team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still extremely good damage to be that close. But also, the names are reversed again, I just realized. Because
it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta have a classic. We had the names reversed in Champion Select. We're just keeping things consistent, inconsistently consistent. That's what we're
Are we Weibo?
We Weibo.
Sorry, a little
good throw jokes that only a few people are gonna get.
Yeah. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a... I am most disappointed in Spark, to be honest. because
Spark,
we hyped him about so much at the beginning of this game and throughout the entire split. He has been the shining light for Brod. And then in the last fight, when he got caught by the charm, he had, before getting caught by the charm, ult and flash available. And even then,
and
on the side of Brod, you have a Mikhail's.
Yeah, exactly. Rakan had Mikhail's, yeah. I was going to say that.
And none of them were used in saving your damn DPS carry. Like...
You expect them to use something, but ultimately I feel like there was just a miscommunication. I don't think they even realized fast enough that Spark got caught off at that point in time.
It's those little moments in the game. I mean, if you're, sitting there not super prepared of what's going to happen and your carry gets picked at the very last second and you have all this stuff you could have used to avoid it, then, that's what loses you the game at the end of the day. You're only good as your ability to close, and if you can't, kind of shape up and get that done, then you can't win the game. As a famous NFL football coach once said, if you guys don't get the final last yard, you don't deserve to be champions, and Brod unfortunately had to learn that the hard way.
Exactly. So before we head into game number 2, we are going to take a very, very quick break, and we'll be back with you with the draft and a little bit of chatter before we head into game 2. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with you. the Brod and Friends strategy coming into game one. And I want to start with Frisky this time around because, well, we won't get to see a Darius anymore. We won't get to see the Ivern. But then again, there won't be any more ball delivery systems. So there has to be fresh ideas coming into the Rift on game two.
I mean, if you mean like a dismantle, it's probably more like they demolished like a house using just like a spoon. So like, you know, a very slow dismantling with maybe not the right tools, but it got done at the end of the day. But we're just throwing ourselves right in the draft, and Harold's already tilted his head. Immediate start with the Xin Zhao. People like picking Pantheon into the Xin Zhao. I've actually seen the opposite as well. People say one Xin Zhao is good in Pantheon. People say Pantheon's good into Xin Zhao. It's matchup. Definitely early game dependent, but
personally, I think the Trundle goes into against either of them. You know, just put the Trundle in front of the Xin Zhao or in front of the Pantheon, it'll make them cry. But we do have the Gnar stepping onto the Rift on IntQuick's side here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the names are reversed again, but the I know for a fact the colors are right. So IntQuick is blue side, Brod&Friends is red. So like QQR has his Syndra, Kerberos is going to have his Gnar.
That is a very, very bold early Gnar pick, considering Ambessa is open, Camille is open, Jax is open, Irelia is open if you really want to opt into it.
Kled! Let's go!
Please,
Tank
please,
Kled!
please.
Lock it in.
I would love it. I would love it.
Listen.
Nah. That's fine, but that's not as fun.
It's not. I mean, Kled isn't necessarily fun anymore, right? Ever since they updated him to be like a bruiser, tanky.
Yeah, he's very weird now.
He is.
He's always been weird, bro.
Kled is amazing right now. I love playing the champion. I loved playing the champion before. Right now, it's even funnier. But
yeah, because you become a massive.
I've never played.
Really? You become a massive tank when you're dismounted now. Back then, you used to be super, super vulnerable. Yeah. Ever since the last patch, you become a hyper tank because you get percentage armor and magic resist based on your bonus HP, something of the sort. It's like a weird math calculation, but you become very tanky when you're scarless. Hey, second rotation of bans coming through. We do see a ban on Braum. We do see a ban on Alistar. A lot of focus on the support role, which neither of the teams have yet.
Harold, what do you think that Brod wants to do in terms of the ADC? Because you're right about the Spark needing to be like stepping up a little bit more. What do you think is the right ADC for him is going to be in this context? Does he want? I mean, Jhin could kind of work for this comp.
Zeri.
Ezreal is open.
I mean, Zeri would be a weird pick. I mean, I suppose I could see it. No,
I mean, a lot of the IntQuick champions right now struggle against high mobility picks. You could lock in something like a Zeri, you buff it up with something like a Milio or a Lulu. You already have more than enough engage with Gragas and Pantheon. You could work around something like that. And it's going to be R580 carry.
R580... I mean, for the Spark angle, I can see that work. Because you have a lot of options if you want to pair with something like Leona. Like I said, Ezreal's on the table. You talked about Jhin. Jhin is absolutely a possibility. If we're talking about the early game advantages that you can gather as Brod&Friends, you have the Gragas, the Syndra, the Pantheon. I feel like Jhin would fit here.
Yeah, I mean Jhin would be fine.
I think the only kind of issue is that, I mean, it depends on kind of what else IntQuick draft, and the Thresh is going to kind of do less to get out in the back line and more just keep the front line off. You just have so many people on Brod that are going to be diving into the middle of the fight. The Jhin obviously can stay back and use Curtain Call to help as much as possible. We know how much damage Syndra and Pantheon are going to be able to do.
You could go for something like Jinx.
What do you say?
You could go for something like Jinx right now. You have the Thresh already locked in.
Smolder.
It's going to be the Smolder.
Smolder is an Artorias special. We've seen him play him at least at least twice during the regular split here.
I swear, if they go Vayne, if he goes Vayne and just says let's just go all out, we're gonna go late game anyway. Look at Harold's eyes. Look at his eyes. This is craziness going on.
Vayne you can't Vayne into Smolder like that. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
So before we were talking about IntQuick's comp being a bit sus with the Ivern, and I would have defended it, but in this scenario, now I have less to defend because IntQuick it's such a weird comp because first of all, it's just weird how everything's gonna pair together. How you want like how you're gonna set up for the Gnar to engage, and how you're gonna keep space for the Victor. But you have like an early game centric comp where you want the Xin and the Thresh to kind of go around and get some picks. But I feel it's gonna be hard to try to get a pick on a Syndra or on a Sivir with a Leona backing them, and then. That shouldn't be the point, though, because you should, as in quick, you should be waiting till late game. Obviously, that's what Smolder's best for, and you have a Victor, and we saw what Beely could do in the late game last time, so you're going to want him just to put in a side lane, farm up, same with the Smolder, and just wait for these late game team fights. I think Brod is going to have a ton of urgency in that mid game to do a lot more with picks, and I think they can really make this team comp fly into the mid game if they pull it off right.
But Sivir,
The big counterpoint that I see is the fact that Smolder gets to stacks. You don't have anybody that can tank a Smolder poke.
yeah, that would be true. I mean, technically, I do feel Pantheon could potentially tank the Smolder for long enough for him to get caught off and drag down, right? Because he just ignores damage with his shield up.
Yeah, but
So
you
that
should
could
never.
be a point of contention for Brod&Friends.
But yeah, but
Allegedly.
with the champions that Inquit have, the Brod should never be able to get anywhere close to the Smolder. You have the Flay from the Thresh, you have the Gnar from the Mega Gnar, you have the Crescent Guard, you have the Gravity Field, you have the Chaos Storm. You have or Arcane Storm right now. Sorry,
Arcane Storm.
there is so many tools on the side of Inquit to protect the Smolder that it's going to be really difficult for Brod to find a catch unless they find the pixel perfect engage with a Grand Starfall and then scatter the weak into Unleash Power.
I think that would be a possibility. We've seen weirder things happen. We've seen a lot of weird things happen just last game. We don't have to go too far in the UKEL's history to see weird things happening. So I do feel like that could be a possibility. And
Yeah, we
yes,
saw
the
Zaya
Smolder-
with ult die to an MF bullet time.
Yes, we did. We did. Yay. Thank you. No, we did get to witness that. But hey, it is a possibility that the Sivir could get out of control as well, because there is a lot of disengage from Brod&Friends side as well with the Syndra. That I feel like they can manipulate team fights a little bit better. You know what? I want to say that this is going to be easily a 40-minute game where we're going to have kind of a stalemate up until 15 minutes in, because neither of the teams are going to find windows of engage. I feel like that's a safe prediction to make.
Yeah, but that's
I
always
think
going
even
to
if they do,
favor.
it's not going to be it's not gonna be enough. Like,
The longer this game goes, it's the more threatening it is for the side of Brod.
Christ.
Like,
Right. Okay. Before we get into the game, we're going to toss it over to Jay Real and Nick. They're already ready with their thoughts on this giraffe to kick off the second game of this best of 3 series.
Okay, my thoughts. I'll keep it short. Akazon Gragas, good. Playing for the late game against the Smolder, not good. That's my thoughts.
My thoughts, Sivir. Skills just as well as Smolder. Shreds through the entire enemy team. Crescent Guard says no. Quick toss.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. Because I wanted to go to 3, right? I want us to go to 3 regardless who wins the series. I want a 3. So yeah, Brod, get your ass in gear and let's get this one sorted. Let's get a win here. I feel like a lot of this does ride on Porp for me, right? I think if Porp can really get this early game going, like I think one of the biggest issues that Brod had last game is that they were playing from behind for so long, right? Let's imagine the last game, but Brod aren't behind for 25 minutes, right? Like they actually are even. They are able to kind of dictate the pace themselves. I feel like maybe we don't have to go for those crazy plays. They don't have to try as hard to get those wins. And then maybe they don't, gas themselves out and then overstep. So I'm saying early game, Pantheon needs to go crazy. However, the Xin Zhao is there. It's a lot of potential and another hook champion coming in from Prosper.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that right now, looking at the team, Int Quick has, like I think Frisky said, more agency on the map. They can dictate quite a lot of what is going to happen, whereas Brod&Friends, they need to get the pixel perfect engage, as Harold said. So it makes the job that Brod is going to have to do very tough, whereas Int Quick can basically wait it out and say, you have to come to us, and then we just go for a re-engage. We make sure Smolder is safe. He gets his stack. He gets to do everything, and then we just win the team fights through that. The biggest issue for them is they need to get to that stage, because Sivir early on can already push the Winnie Waves quite a lot, and then with the Leona specifically, they get to be the aggressors. Game 1, we actually saw that it was Prosphere and Artorias who could be very aggressive in the bot lane. This time it will be roles reversed, and with Spark being again the main character, I think this we could be heading into a steamroll.
Yeah, I do think that. I think both these teams are set up in a way where if you do get that lead, as you said, like, it could just be over, because they both want to get to 40, but only one can really get there if we get early game fighting. So I am interested. I also want to see how they play around objectives, right? Brod were really good at objectives in the early game last time. They were able to get the boots for themselves right through the Feats of War. They were able to get those early dragons and the early grubs. So I do wonder how they want to play the map. I also am very interested to see the pathing of the junglers, because now in the top side, it's a little bit more wet noodle. It's Gragas. Surely we're not getting Prio top.
I think Nor will still get Prio. Like, the amount of auto attacks with the passive stacking that he can just dish out, I think he will be out damaging the Gragas. Gragas has, you know, he has built-in sustain, and his trades can be favorable, but I think again Akkus is in a weaker situation than Kerberos. But he's a massive disengager, right? He can make sure that if Intquick finds a opening, then he can just say like, nah, it's not gonna happen. Oh, Artorias, you can't make that happen, my guy. Not when the minions are about to head in.
Oh, that was a lot of damage actually. Sivir Boomerang Blade is no joke.
Yeah, stacked with the Leona passive as well. That's an extra 10 damage.
And again, they're hitting it again, plus an auto this time. And hey, we talked about early game pressure. This is exactly what we want to see. A really nice set of plays there from Zeta and Spark to already get Artorias to less than half HP, and Prosphere stepping up as well. We're also going to face similar fates.
Yeah, because his HP was like less than a half, it means he can't go for trades. It gives Zeta free space together with Spark with the long range Q to just go for that poke, and they will just easily win the HP fight.
I'm just saying, Artorias and Prosphere, yeah, themselves pretty low. They have a big wave coming in though, so I think they're going to be pretty happy just to collect this one up. A lot of pressure trying to be applied by Spark here, but under the tower, level 2 with no jungle support, not going to do too much.
Yeah, missing out on quite a few minions, I would imagine. Kerberos already pushing into the top lane, so we'll go for like a quick wave clear. Probably go for like a cheeky reset, get a quick first item, maybe a longsword, to make sure that he can just poke Gragas into oblivion.
Ooh, talking about cheeky, that's an engage coming in from the bot lane onto Spark. Missed the tickle in pursuit as well, and there is nowhere for Brod's ADC to go.
And that's just the early power from a Xinjia, right? Pantheon wants to go for full clear. He wants that level 6 as early as he can get, so he can make those engages happen. But Xinjia does not care. He only has to hit the Wind Becomes Lightning. As Zeta's going to fall.
What? Why is Zeta there? Oh, he stays alive! What a player! Maybe Paul can get the kill here. Maybe they can get the double. Prosphere waiting, looking for the flay. Does manage to get it off, and Paul stacked up. Would a Q potentially do enough? Not going to kill.
I would have sent it. I would have sent this for that kill, I'm not gonna lie, but Artorias is a better player than me. Has go back to base, so we'll get the cull. It does mean that again Sivir will have more damage than the Smolder, and the CS discrepancy is already showing, but you know, getting a kill at the very least, that's gonna help out.
It's pretty good. I think it equates to what, like 15 minions, I think was the numbers.
Yeah, something like that.
So, you know, actually, if we're looking at it fully with the math, Artorias is up 2 minions. So there you go. Some small wins in the bot lane for 5 IQ. They are getting some decent wins across the rest of the map there, right? A little bit of a gold advantage for Kerberos, and Akka's obviously very low right now. Will stay alive, but the dive could be on here, right? We do have Mr. Tickle in the close vicinity, and I think this should be... Surely they can get something to happen here.
I feel like you can't really make it happen.
Okay.
All right, they're stalling him out, basically. They're making sure... Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Ooh,
Flash
stalled out
forward.
into the line weight of Porp. A lot of damage going on to Mr. Tickle, but Akers stepping forward may have given them a window back into the fight here. They take down Akers, and now Porp is 2v1, but has a lot of damage. Gets to the stun down, gets one kill. Kerberos looking for the return, gets the spear to the face.
I'm just thinking, like, how could Quick turn that one around? I don't think they could, because Pantheon being full health, it makes sure that Gragas dying early on can get to the wave earlier, gets even more golden experience, and he gets to poke Kerberos a little bit. So massive wins in the top lane here for Brod&Friends.
Oh, and it just keeps continuing with Akers doing so much damage to Kerberos in that lane.
With a tear in the book, by the way. Against a Phage. Nar should win this any day, but it's Gragas we're talking about. He's actually pressuring him more. Look at that. He's saying you're not getting any of this CS.
Akers Gragas is dangerous. Like it's a little bit scary out here, right? Level 6 already. Kerberos gotta be cautious. Was pressured for so long under their own tower, but Akers now taking the reins.
Is it bust tier?
Ooh. Maybe that's one for the Saturday show. You know, ranking all the Gragases.
True. All right. Yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting already. Like, even if Smolder gets a kill ahead, look at the CS once again. Like, Spark together with Zeta, Leona, and Sivir, they can dictate.
Oh, the solo kick. Can we get a replay? I don't know if we have replays on, but I want to see that one. Kerberos getting soloed by Gragas in the top lane off of what was just a bit of a crazy set of events.
It was the level 6 power spike where he said ultimate, and then just caught out Kerberos sleeping a little bit. Didn't have the reaction speed to go for something. Like, the flash is already down, so there's just no dodging
after carrying the last game, you know.
True. The shoulders are a bit painful. I mean, you need some rest between sets, right?
Yeah. As right now, I feel like we haven't talked about mid lane at all. I'll be honest, and it's because we're scaling and it's not super exciting. You know, like it's Syndra Victor. We'll see them at 25 minutes.
That's true, unless the junglers are saying, actually, let's see you at 10 minutes. Like, I feel like once the junglers are going for a Drake, as Xin Zhao is invading the top side right now, there might be another fight going. Okay, this is just a ward drop for the red buff. The Void Grubs are spawning, and the Drake is already up, so we might be getting a trade of neutral objectives soon.
Yeah, I'm not too sad about that. I would actually think, I feel like right now, if you're Brod, the Grubs are more valuable. You know, get yourself that pushing power, give Akers a bit of potential on that side lane. Whereas, I don't know, I feel like the Dragon goes a lot nicer for 5 IQ, but
I would actually say it reverse, because Brod&Friends has Sivir. They can push Smolder so much that the Void Mites are going to stack up, like in long term, and take plates for Sivir, and that means that Spark gets ahead even further.
Okay. Well, we'll see how they prioritize it. At this moment in time, though, we're just going to see not a lot go down, right? But neither jungler particularly moving towards Grubs. It looks like both are going to be on Dragon's side when it spawns. Oh, sorry, now that it's up.
Yeah, this is just a spectator delay bug, so don't worry about it. It will resume right now, as you can see. Mega Gnar has been popped. It does mean that Akers right now can just wait it out, and then once it's Mini Gnar again, go for more trades. At the same time, you do see the bot lane is resetting. They're sending the support towards the mid lane as Drake is being started up. So we might be seeing our first fight very soon.
I love how you said, like, he can just wait, and then I immediately saw Akers just, like, jump into the Gnar. But yeah, it's, you know, it's Gragas things. He goes to the little trade, he walks away. I do agree with
he
what
lost
you're
the
saying.
trade as well, if you look at the HP.
Like, this guy, he doesn't care, but Porp does care about Dragons, and he's going to pick up the first one there. So that's an objective secured. I wonder if they go all the way and just go straight for the Grubs, right? Porp does have the opportunity to just get across the map with Grand Starfall, so I kind of want to see it, but they might actually just go for the dive instead.
I'll shut up, because they're definitely going for the dive right now. The minion wave is there, but it's already incoming. Leona is here as well. I feel like Pop should just go for it. Otherwise, she's wasting so much time, while Int Quick is just getting the Void Grubs.
Waiting for the wave. Wave slowly coming in. The support is going to be there, though. Artorias just trying to clear the wave as fast as he can. He's not going to get much opportunity, though. There's the stun, there's the lockdown, there's the solar flare, the kill over to Spark, and it's as clean as it gets.
Yeah, and most importantly, Smolder also misses out on the cannon minion. That's so much gold missing.
Oh, I thought it was such good timing from Akers. Now the TP. Surely they can't dive Gragas, right? Surely. They're bringing Victor as well, potentially.
You would say right, but we saw a Scion being dove and died.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But Akers decided to just walk away from the tower, which is making him a little bit more vulnerable.
He's behind, he's behind. Engage already happened.
Yeah, Xin Zhao is starting to make things happen, but Akers able to get away. So actually, it's all panic for nothing. Able just to stay himself in the top side. And we still have that Pantheon ult, by the way. So wary should be I5 IQ on the map.
True. Well, mid lane. Still nothing happening. And we already knew that he was on the bot side. So Kerberos is like, yeah, I can just push up a little bit more. Whereas Akers is still just waiting, is playing the waiting game. Like he's up 80, like he's 88 CS versus 75, and he's already always being pushed up. I think that's one of the strengths of Gragas, where he can one-shot like minion waves whenever he wants, and then just walk away with sustain, right? I think that's like the major strength of a Gragas. You can never win the push war against it.
Oh, here we go. Not into the wall. Kerberos doing a lot of damage. Akers able to get some down as well, but Porp is here, not needed, as Akers is just going to pick up the kill again solo, but the pressure was there. It forces the trade, and it's an easy lockdown.
Yeah, and at least the assist was given as well, so it's not a complete waste of an ultimate for Pantheon, as well as, you know, getting a little bit of tempo on the map, making sure that, yes, we can go back to base, we can buy an item. Cosmic Drive already here for the Gragas. The tiers stacking up nicely, whereas Gnar still waiting for the Triforce, so Gragas should be able to start pushing Kerberos in.
Should be. We'll see if he does. He's had a pretty good game just keeping it at his own tower, but I do agree, setting up a little bit of a proactive movement there will be good, as we are going to see in this bot lane. Prospect landing the hook onto the Leona. Zeta going to have to flash away as Mr. Tickle is in the vicinity, so forcing this bot lane back. But look who else is here. Porp has joined the fight, but Mum called in. Zeta low. Porp stepping back in with the shield, though, able to survive a little bit longer. Mr. Tickle doesn't land with the wind becomes lightning, and Spark able to get some ricochets off, means it's pretty much all even in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I really like how they disengaged once the Wind Becomes Lightning came in. Or was it the Crescent Guard? I forgot. Name of the ultimate of Xin Zhao?
Yep.
Yes, thank you. They waited it out, and then they went for a re-engage from Spark. It means that they waste no skills while the Crescent Guard is being wasted in time. It like gets rid of all projectiles. Yeah, the bouncing blade. I almost got killed. Yeah, I was looking as well.
No way they're just gonna tank this and die.
I was looking as well. But here we see it. Plates going Spark's way. This should be a massive amount of gold ahead for Spark. Like, I'm really worried about Artorias right now.
Yeah, 47 gold. 47 CS, sorry, in the lead. As Akers is feeling it right now. Broadby lost game one. Akers has been schmooving and grooving on 5 IQ all series long.
If I was that Victor, I would be tilting out of my mind. I would be tilted out of my mind. Imagine going for the big brain flash, and then he just says, I don't care about you, I'll just escape. And then he gets out. But again, that's the power of a Gragas, right? We talked about how Scion got killed, even though he should be unkillable. Well, Gragas has the escape tools, he has the CC to keep you at bay. Like, he makes sure that you can't be in position to kill him.
He's like the new Mundo. He just goes where he pleases. You know, like he doesn't care about what you want to do, as we are going to see someone going into the bot lane where they want to. Porp going to lock down Artorias. This should be a secured kill with the spear in the back landing.
Wait, is that the Dragon Slayer Pantheon skin? That is lore. That is lore. Even killing the babies.
That he actually killed Smolder, and now the dragon. It's actually wild. Yeah, damn. I didn't even think about it, but at this moment in time, it is going to be another dragon to be slain by Brod. Mr. Tickle nowhere in sight, as we are going to see just take up that top side of the jungle. So, Brod, I feel like they're having a much better game. This is what we wanted to see, right? We wanted to see them get ahead, get themselves a lead. We want to see Port be proactive. All of those boxes have been ticked. They're 4,000 gold up, 2 dragons in the bag, and they are cruising right now into a very good position for this mid game.
Yeah. Most players still have their flash up, so Zeta being called out shouldn't be the end of the world.
It's quite tanky as the Leona. Does have Pork moving over as well. Might lose their life, but for what cost is the answer. QQR takes down 1. So far, it's an even trade, as we are going to see Mr. Tickle fall as well. So 2 down, and it could potentially be 3, because Kerberos didn't get over the wall, had to flash away, and gets out safely.
Yeah, safely, but they lost many members and they will lose out on the Rift Herald as well. We talked about it in game 1 where we said Brod&Friends had great neutral objective control. Well, they're basically doing the same thing here. Getting 2 Drakes, they got Rift Herald. They only lost the Void Mites, but it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, but what is starting to matter is the CS differential for Spark. Yeah. If we can production have a little swap over to the gold, 50 CS in the lead, completed an item plus a BF sword versus no completion for Artorias, who might also be going back to base swiftly. Oh, Whackers going to be slightly short with the barrel there.
Yeah, I mean, like, a kill is nice. Speaking of,
ooh, Kerberos taking so much damage. What Spark is doing so much damage right now.
yep, he has Untols, he has BF swords, he has all the damage that he really needs. And the Minotaur is not as tanky as you would want him to be, so the gold graph right now, like half of the gold lead is in Spark's hands. He's 2k up on the Smolder. Smolder's Cull barely only has 1 more stack left. Like, the only reason that Artorias even has this much gold is because of that Cull. It gives him a lot back. If he didn't have a Cull, he went for a damage item, that difference would be even bigger. How crazy is that?
It's just making me think, though. We've got this big lead for Brod, and this is, you know, their demons that they got to fight here, right? They need to cleanly end the game. I feel like it's what I talked about in the last game, you know, closing out. That's what I want to see, the big improvement in this playoffs for Brod. They have so much potential. They get themselves in such good positions. What can they do with this lead now? Because I don't want them to take this to 40 minutes, right? If we're still commentating this game, Nick, at 40 minutes, I believe Brod will lose.
They might not. It purely depends on Syndra, I think. If they can find Artorias somehow and they just Syndra ult him immediately, he's evaporated, right? We don't talk about Syndra, actually. People don't talk about her often enough. Like, ever since her rework a little bit, people still don't know about her scaling passive. Like, she gets so much stronger on the Q, W, E, and R.
Let the people know. Let the people know, Nick, about this new Syndra. Or not so new Syndra. It's been a while since she got updated. But, oh, does Kerberos know, though? Because no stacks on... Oh, but the gank as well. Mr. Tickle and Kerberos and potentially Prosper onto QQR. Pushed up and will be slain. So, we're going to go to the mid lane for a quick break to look at Brod taking a tower.
Commercial break. Okay, so about Syndra, right? So she has a stacking passive, and when she gets to like I think it's 120. Yeah, 120. I'm pretty sure. She gains something that's called Splinters of Wrath, and it means that her skills get much stronger, gets more scaling, gets more stun duration, and specifically, she makes more orbs passively. So that means her ultimate is always stronger, and she has first strike. So whoever is walking into her face will have a lot of damage being dealt. Just as we just saw on Gnar. Deleted, evaporated off the map.
Disgusting.
Yes. But that's just the early power spike they
watch.
have right now. Yeah, it's 30 seconds for the Drake, and they cannot fight it. So should be going to Brod&Friends fight convincingly.
Aka's just getting aggressive onto the dragon. Artura's taking a bit of damage as we are going to see Rift Herald popped in the bot lane. I wonder if they're going to try and do some Tokyo drifting and take that one to
Artura's
the
dead.
mid lane after this tower. But at the moment in time, tier 2 on the bot side is going to be the target. Decent amount of damage, and the Herald will go down as you did say. Beely in trouble, tries to walk through the jungle only to find Brod members.
Yeah, press R, and the mid laner from it quick is gone. They dealt the damage they wanted to on that tower, and now they will go for a free dragon as well. So this is the macro play that I really want to see from Brod&Friends, where they don't just say like, okay, let's go for a safe objective. Let's at least push the bot lane out, get damage on the turret, then retreat when there's no minion wave to play on, then get the safe objective. And when we return to that tower, it's almost destroyed already, so we can just instantly net that 900 gold for us into the pocket. And that gold lead we talked about is simply growing. They're actually looking to set their sights on Atakan as well, and it will be uncontested.
Uncontested indeed, and this is what I'm saying. They have all of the chips. They have all the cards. They just need to lay them down in the right order, and they win the game. Brod looking strong. Gold lead, almost 6,000 gold in the lead. They're going to get Atakan. Their levels up, their items up. They need to just close out clinically and cleanly in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm looking to find a way, like, how is Int Quick going to fight back? Because we talked about how at 40 minutes mark Int Quick should be winning, but we're only halfway there. We're at 21 minutes, and it's looking very rough for Int Quick. Like, if Brod&Friends get the soul point as well, and if they get a Drake, that should already be over. Like, yes, Smolder scales insanely, and he gets the execution. The question is, can you even get to the execution mark? I feel like right now that the answer is a no.
A little bit of go back. I think he's something like 80, 70 stacks away now. So still a little bit of time, as you said, right? It's still not close to where they need to be. And every single time they're in the side lane, they're just meeting someone like Akers, who is just a very dangerous threat for the little dragon that wishes he could.
Well, at least there's nothing to fight for right now, so there should be like free farming for Smolder. Yes, he is in the face of Akers, and Akers has shown, like, yeah, if you walk up to me for a minion, then you are going to die.
Oh, talking about people that are going to die. Goodbye, Billy. Oh, nice lantern, but it's not going to be enough. The auto follows, and Spark takes another kill, plus the mid tower will be falling down. So exertion of pressure from Brod gets them some more wins.
Yeah, Akers is standing by in the jungle. There won't be minions to play on, so a simple retreat, push out the minion wave just a little bit further. Yep, Spark already should be going there. Trying to steal a bit of XP as well from the jungle. I quite like that. You're already ahead of level, man. Don't bully him.
No, bully more. Bully more.
True.
Keep going.
50
Build
CS
those
ahead
leads.
still.
Yes, that is quite the sizable lead, as we are going to see Mr. Tickle stepping forward. Doesn't want to give up Gromp here. Bit of an interesting one to fight over. It is a 3 versus 4 though, and there is no Spark in the vicinity, so I do want to say Brod needs to be a little bit careful. TP going to be coming in. Spark now on the flank, moving forward, looking to get some damage down, but not able to get into range just yet. QQR also walking away, and it's been a lot of nothing, as nothing actually comes out of that fight.
True. However, teleport has been expanded from the side of Akers, so that I would say is a net win for Int Quick. It means that next time Akers is going to play cross map, he cannot follow up on a play, and that next fight should be happening around the dragon or Baron. They could, you know, trade objectives if they really want to, but because the soul point is for Brod&Friends, they should be able to dictate when and where they want to fight. And if they can say, like, okay, Int Quick, you can take that dragon, we just take Baron, that's still a big win for Brod&Friends. They can just decide how the game is going to play out.
Oh, and It looks like they might be trying to do that. Akazo needs to be careful. It is a 3 versus 1. Beautiful flash though. We'll get him away from the Gnar. The stun does not land. So this is where I'm starting to get a bit tense. You know, Brother starting to make some plays that are a little bit overzealous. And we are going to see a minute before the dragon spawns, but it's 45 seconds until Baron. And I do feel like 5IQ are trying to set themselves up for it. They're going to take the tier 1 tower in the top side. They're pushing Akkas around a little bit here and only sending Artorias to defend against QQR.
Yeah, and this is the second time they go for that bot tower. They damaged it enough already before they made the earlier dragon plays, so they could easily take this tower. They take mid as well. Great rotation here from Brod&Friends, as Intquick was wasting a lot of resources on the top side. They had to disengage, go back to base, but in that time, you can see what Brod&Friends took back. And now, with the Drake spawning in 20 seconds, the Baron in 5, they need to make plays now.
Remember, Kerberos does have TP, Akkas does not. So there is a world where they try and disengage, and they can send themselves down into the bot lane to make it a 5 versus 4. I think is what they might do now with that recall as Prospect in a bit of trouble here. Gonna have to flash away. Port with a lot of damage, not landing the hook as well. Mr. Tickle though, able to give them enough assistance with a really nice gravity field coming out from the Victor there. So they keep themselves alive, but Dragon still very much not in their control. Brod should be able to get soul point here.
Yeah, minions were wasted away, so there's nothing to play on in the bot side, so they can freely go for this Drake. I don't know if Xin was in vision that they are doing this, but I feel like Mr. Tickle should be aware of what's happening.
I think they're aware, but what can they do, right? They can't walk up when Spark's there. They maybe need to get a pick. I don't know, Nick. I don't really know how they deal with Spark at all, really.
Kerberos. If I look at the minimap, he's in a very dangerous spot. Like, they could rotate top or set up a kill brush for the mid lane, whoever wants to check in the Baron.
Oh no, Mr. Tickle needs to be careful. Able to avoid though. No stun landing just yet, and that Baron is looking really nice right now if you're Brod&Friends though. If they can get this Baron, I feel like it's GG.
Yeah, so first off, they will be pushing out top.
Oh, hold on, we may just fight for it completely. Right now they found Mr. Tickle, they've got the stun, the gravity. He's gonna hold down the Pantheon though, so really nice play once again from Beely to just give time to the team.
It makes sense, right? They push out mid, they push out top, and they make sure, because only one person is needed per lane, they set up a kill brush as well. And if they got a pick there, that would have been a clean Baron. But now, because they have Prio in 2 lanes, they can still rotate to it if they really want to. They have all the vision. Intquick has 0. So Intquick always has to take a risk for a, I would say, low rewards. Because they're not getting that Baron either way.
Yeah, the reward might be you all died and you lost the game. So it is a lot of risk coming in for this one. As we are going to see the Pantheon making their way downtown. Nice, and gravity field will just buy some space once again. And I got to say, Beely is holding these team fights together for 5IQ.
Yeah, and I do believe that I saw Smolder got the stacks. I saw an execution bar, and he should have like 233 if I check quickly. I think the producer went over it.
Oh, hold on, so we might be able to get it after this fight though, as Artorias is in a bit of trouble here. Spark moving forward, gets the kill already onto the Dragon, and they're just moving forward. That's 3 kills down, and this is exactly what we said. You check Baron, you might die, and you might lose the whole game for it.
I don't know if you saw what I saw, but I saw Mr. Tickles really, literally tickling Gragas. He felt nothing from those attacks. They're looking to finish the game here. Can Victor Thresh stop the onslaught here?
This is not like game 1. They're on the towers. They don't just need to take 2. They can take it all. Another kill gonna go down. No more gravity field to save the day, Beely. It's 2 towers falling down. The Nexus will explode. And Nick V, I wanted it. We're going to game number 3.
And God, do I hope game 3 delivers on both sides, because game 1, I would say, was quite close until unfortunate events happened. But game 2 is a complete stomp. This is the Brod&Friends that I personally expected to see today. But they have to show it again in game 3, because we're not quite done yet.
Agreed. And that is the exact point they need to take in with them. They are not done yet. Really, really good performance from Brod in game 2. But they got a new game. The scores are reset. The boards are open. And they have to lock in again if they want to win. 5IQ, they had a good game 1. They took a little bit of a breather in game 2. They also need to switch it up. They need to come back with a bit more power. I feel like they just gave up too much in the early game.
True. I think it all went down to the smaller thresh as well. Like, they wanted to go for like a safe scaling pick, but I feel like in the current meta where snowballing is so prevalent, you cannot go for scaling picks. I don't think I've seen a smolder win in a very long time. Get yourself an aggressive bot lane and make sure you can make plays. Make sure you can get tempo, have agency on the map. That's your only way to victory right now. Or get a very safe enchanter or like Ziggs.
I feel like it's gonna come out of the top lane.
You know,
get some spicy top lane. Get Cobra's back on some weird stuff. You know, maybe, but we'll see. We are gonna throw this one to the desk. I believe they are ready. If they're not, they better be. And we're gonna break this one down. When we come back, we'll have game number 3, the finale for tonight.
As ready as can be, J-Real. As ready as can be. This game just flew by, and what a contrast it was from game number 1. Welcome to the desk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm AC, and I'm back with Frisky and Harold here on the post-game breakdown on a very massive stomp from Brod&Friends. And allegedly, some people expected this from game 1, but what's a different scenario here for game 2? And Harold, or actually, calm down, Harold. We'll get to you in just a minute because I want to see how your sign is doing right now. I know Frisky has something in here for us that he wants to show us, but we'll get to that in a minute as well as we take a look at exactly what happened here.
I mean,
Harold, you take it.
I feel like the numbers speak for themselves.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when we last game we were, singing the praises of Beely on his Ari, doing a lot of work. And then we go into this game, and he has 0 KP. And he has the lowest gold on his team for a carry, playing Victor mid lane.
He spent all the juju on game 1.
All the aura was consumed into the game 1 win. And now...
man.
Dude, that's what you get for coming into game 2 auraless, homie. That's what you expect.
Yeah, I mean, then we look at the damage numbers, and there's one that kind of jumps out at you if you look at it too hard. Spark is a pretty good AD carry, isn't he?
He is. Not Artorias again. Remember, we're in we're not La La Land. We're in Mirror Land, so you got to mirror the names. But yeah, Spark
Mirror
is
dimension.
Gotta do the UKEL. It's like, you know what? We're making you guys do the work. You figure it out. We're not telling you how to do it. I mean, that really shows the intelligence of us here. We're really making us have to have the viewers think of who's really doing well, who's not. All right, we chose Pop as player of the game. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Well, yes. It was democratically chosen amongst the desk members.
As in, we left the American out and we just voted just the Europeans.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was up. I was like up. I don't remember this at all. I agree with this, but I was like, oh, we chose Pop. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You should get the
at its finest.
Listen. It takes the majority to take the vote. No, but Pop was absolutely instrumental in this game. He bought so much space, and he absolutely dismantled Xin Zhao from Int Quick in the jungle. He just had to have men of the game here.
Yeah, I mean, let me cast your minds back to the top lane Tribush fight at like 5 minutes. And he gets a double kill because Pantheon is a fair and balanced champion in the early game.
Listen, he wasn't doing that much damage, but he kept on pressing on. And the fact that he didn't deal damage didn't mean that the opposing team had the tools to resist his damage, right?
Yeah, I
and
mean,
he just got way too big.
Yeah, at one point when you get accelerated on this Pantheon, it's really difficult to deal with. We had questions whether they would have target access onto the Smolder. The answer is yes, because contrary to Game 1, Artorias was frequently out of position, honestly. It felt like in Quick, in this game too, were completely off the ball, in my opinion. And
I feel like B2 pick on Gnar really paid dividends here for Kerberos. And this comes full circle with what we discussed. When Kerberos has a good game, the rest of the squad follows suit, but when he has one bad game, it feels like nobody gets to have a good game on Quick's side.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the consistency we
Is this not game 2? Like game
Sure,
1,
man.
Game
last
one
was
was a warm-up.
Game 1 was a warm-up, yeah,
the first
man,
game
sure.
we saw was the warm up game, clearly, right? Because there's
No,
no
yeah,
way
yeah,
a broad team that can look this dominant lost a game to an Inquick that looked so lost on the map,
Not
right?
with an Ivern and a Darius, right?
Clearly impossible, impossible.
Not in a million years. But yeah, no, we won't be able to see half of these champions anymore. We still have a couple of options on the table. And Frisky,
Yeah.
what can we talk about in terms of off-pocket picks here that Quick can still bring to the table? Because we've already seen that their drafts are absolutely out of pocket. Is a good term. Interesting, yeah.
I mean, I appreciate us using like words like interesting and out of pocket instead of just saying maybe bad for a draft, as last game's draft was.
We
just
are a respectable
bad.
stream.
Well, okay, then.
I mean,
if we're a respectable stream, I don't know why they brought me on here then. Anyway, I think they just need to have a more consistent lineup. I think they just need to build. They can either build around Artorias, they can build around Kerberos, but I think they just have to have an identity with the team. Even Bailey, we knew how Bailey was in first game, and then he completely lost all of his aura in the second game. Not entirely his fault, but the Victor pick really wasn't that great. There's only so much you can do about it if your team gets behind. I think if they go for a late game team fight comp, they have to build their entire team around that, or something early, they build the entire team around it. I think they're still fine playing late game. I think so Brod has a lot of trouble closing. They looked a little sus at times there. If they just build something that can get on top of Spark, do a ton of damage in the long, prolonged team fights, that's all that I think they need to win.
Artorias is not going to see the Vayne nor the Varus in this particular game, and Trundle is also taken out of the picture. Trundle, when you already don't have Pantheon and Xin Zhao in the rotation here, as we head into the first few picks, Rise for Brod&Friends is insta-locked for the hands of QQR.
Well, most of QQR's champions are gone, so getting the Rise early on is a good choice. It gets you scaling, side lane power, mid lane control, gank setup, everything that QQR needs. For what it's worth, all of the bans on the side of Broad are aimed at Kerberos.
Yeah.
That is 3 Kerberos bans, because I don't think you're looking at
Realistically, everything
Artorias.
could be a Kerberos ban, right?
Everything could technically be. All right, we go right back. So the names are right. Like the tags are still right? So
Yeah, the tags are right, the names are flipped.
Yeah. So we're taking the Varus immediately away from Spark. I think that's a good plan. We do not want him on that. That's like his most comfort champion. Do not give him that in the third game. Way too much momentum will be given there. Now you've just got a Mundo. Now you just want something that's kind of meant to stall the late game Rise split push, which absolutely does a ton of damage. Can clears the wave so quick. I think that's just kind of meant to handle that really well. Now we've got the Alistar. I think the plan is just going to be let's get on top of this Jhin as well as possible. Obviously, the farming of Artorias has been less for both of these games compared to Spark. I think they just get on top of him. That's going to be what they want. I think just to get this Jhin negated as well as possible.
That would make sense. Mm-hmm.
I don't like
What's on
getting
your
the
mind,
Mundo this early. I really dislike getting the Mundo this early.
You dislike getting Mundo this early, even though right now it serves as a flex for jungle and top. We probably know it's going into Kerberos' hands, but it could potentially be in the jungle as well.
Yeah, but why would you pick it so early? Like, it's not going to be a super contested pick. It's not going to be something Broad are looking to take away, even on 4 or 5. And most champions that can handle it are still available. The Gwen is up. Most on-hit AD carries are available. The Varus is still the only one the significant one that is gone. There is mid laners that can serve a lot of DPS that are still available that you can pick up. Rise is an amazing DPS threat. And you're pairing the Jhin with the Braum?
You're pairing the Jhin with the Braum. That is a question. I mean, maybe the Braum combo is the friends we made along the way. It could work potentially, right? It could be something. The Braum with the Jhin, you're not going to stack the Braum passive as fast, but it could still potentially work if you have an optimal jungler here to really back that passive up and allow Braum to really navigate the Summoner's Rift, right?
I think the Braum is fine, at least for the lane. I think that you're going to have trouble with Alistar no matter what. I think they've saw the fact that Braum has been banned, I think, in the second round in both games. They just want to take it, have it at least a little bit of protection for this gym so he can farm as well as possible. I do agree, though, they need a jungler to help the Braum roam because he can't really do a ton, especially if Brod picks a good ranged jungler, or not ranged jungler, excuse me, a ranged ADC that allows them to get a little bit more push, and then the Alistar can roam and the Braum can't. So, I mean, even though the Braum can't really roam because he's going to have to, because as soon as he roams, the Jhin is kind of free for the Alistar and whoever ADC is to pick them up. I think it might be just the Braum has to stick with the lane, which would mean you need a jungler who is roaming around a ton. That's locked in Ziggs, which means we're going Ziggs mid, baby. We're going Ziggs in the mid lane.
We're going Ziggs in the mid lane, and above all, we are still preserving the flexibility of the Mundo right now, who's in the hands of Pop, Mr. Nichols, we're gay. We're gay. So Mr. Nichols is holding that flexibility for the Mundo. And we're still waiting on 2 picks from Brod&Friends side.
Yeah, now you're just looking something like Ambessa, who is a fine blind pick. Renekton is available. There could be a Renekton lock-in, and then you send the Mundo in the jungle. But then Mundo has a shit matchup into the Jarvan. And
I was waiting to see if that would be the Lucian Alistar bot lane, the illustrious Lucian Alistar, but no, Jinx makes a lot more sense because Alistar can actually buy Jinx the space to actually go nuts in the backline.
I mean, the Jinx is...
No, okay.
I saw the Dravenino pick. I saw it. Listen, I saw it too.
It was like, I was about to talk about like how Spark had this Jinx in the spring split and did really well with it because Jinx was such a contested pick when it was super strong and had a ton of really good carry games with it and almost made me completely fall apart with the Draven. There is a ton of dive on the side of Brod. I mean, you have got wave clear on the rise, so it's going to push him out. So Beely we've seen done really good before, getting catches on people who are maybe a little bit outspaced. So he'll probably try to do that again.
It is Mundo Jungle.
Could be either still. Could be either still.
Kerberos has played Olaf in the top lane previously. I believe this split already, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, either could go either way because Kerberos has played both. But I do feel like the Olaf top would make more sense up against the Ambessa.
It makes some sense, but still, you're drafting Olaf into an already picked Jarvan.
Yeah. Listen, you speak your truth, brother. Speak your truth. Come on now.
If Pop is sometimes engaged a bit early, I mean, they just find a way to burn out Cataclysm. I mean, he might have to end up taking Flash for it. Maybe they just do something crazy where Kerberos just goes... If they put Olaf in the top, Kerberos just goes Flash Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you still have to do, but like, you're having a really tough time reaching anything, because anytime, like, if Pop just saves the Cataclysm every time, for whenever he sees Kerberos engage, then you're burning a summoner always, every single time, and, you know, this Flash is not going to be up every minute 20. It's going to be up every 5 minutes.
Too many threats on the board to hold your Cataclysm exclusively for Olaf.
But honestly, that's why you have the Alistar as well.
Yeah, that is true. But then again, Ragnarok does ignore Alistar if we get to that point. So that's less of an issue.
But that's what I'm saying. Alistar is going to be able to deal with the rest. You can headbutt, you can pull headbutt the Mundo away because you break passive and then you headbutt him away. And you buy enough space, so it's only the Olaf trying to run at you, and then you just Cataclysm EQ out of it, and then you're either forcing summoners, or you're forcing ultimates, or you're stopping the fight, and then you're looking for Kiteback with something like Public Execution and the Jinx Rockets, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really see a window where Inquick, unless they get a gigantic early game lead, have a window to close out this game in teamfights.
I like it. I like the odds. I like the risk. I like the table that's been set here by Inquick. Obviously, Brod&Friends have a more standard draft, but I recall that in game 1, Brod&Friends also had a pretty standard draft comparatively to Inquick, and they get absolutely dismantled.
I don't even know where I'm going with this one. This one, I don't hate either draft, but it just feels like either way it could go of who could do well. I mean, Inquick would need to set it up where you have Jhin ultimate, try to catch people out while you get the Olaf in the window chasing people down. The Ziggs can obviously do damage on the chase well enough because he's got a ton of range. And then the Braum can just block the carries from getting killed. I guess the problem is that just how much are you going to chase the Jinx? The more you chase the Jinx and chase a Rise, it's really easy to get stopped. I mean, whatever Rise's W is called, Realm
Rune Prison. Rune Prison.
Rune Prison, thank you. Close. I combined the ult and the W. Rune Prison, has a pretty quick cooldown, especially when he's getting all of his resets. Instantly stopping, either the Mundo or the Olaf. I mean, Mundo after a couple, other stuns get him. I mean, they could just make it really easy for them to go on the re-engage Broad, but I feel like they would have to get picked, get caught. We've seen both teams in these dragon fights be indecisive, so this one could really come down to individual play. Who knows?
Right. Okay. Well, we're gonna pass over to the cast of J Real and Nick V to bring us the action inside of Summoner's Rift on the last game of this best of 3 series. So, boys, take it away.
The desk might be biased, mainly Frisky, but so am I. Brod coming in with the win potentially here, right? It's not done yet. There's still a game to play, but I'm fully with Harold right now, Nick. I'm not a big fan of the int quick draft, right? And it's solely, and we talked about it before, so I do apologize for kind of stealing your point here. Olaf and Mundo, apparently he goes where he pleases. Not today, because Jarvan is going to put them in a cage, and then they're stuck. And then what are you going to do? And I'm like, okay, maybe InQuick can play this right if they go back themselves and they get chased. But you don't want to do that as Olaf and Mundo. Like, I'm a little bit surprised. But you know what? They are a good team. They're still a dangerous team, and I do think they deserve a lot of respect. We cannot call the shots just yet. But so far, just from picks alone, I feel like Broad have so much potential in this game.
I mean, it is a team full of veterans from the UKL, but I think like another pain point is when I saw the Trundle and Rel ban, I knew, okay, that's going to be a Braum. At the same time, Rise is going to shred through Braum regardless. Like, he will scale like mad. He will make sure that whoever is going to frontline is going to disappear. We talked about Olaf and Mundo as well being locked up by Jarvan, and even if they flash engage, he still has to go through an Ambessa and a Rise. Like, what do you do against that? So not just the damage, but also the lockdown is on Brod&Friends' side. I will say, because there's an Olaf and a Mundo on the field, there's a lot of split map potential from Int Quick, but they need to stick to it. But it also at the same time means that if there's a team fight going to happen, it's going to be a 4v5. And that is a major flaw in the Int Quick comp. I feel like it's very solo queue-esque, this team.
Yeah. I also will say, and this is wild, because I feel like we haven't seen this at all from Int Quick today. I feel like, for me, the key to their success, the one that opens up that gate to play against Belfast Storm, is for them to play through Beely, who is a great player, right? But I feel like the Ziggs isn't necessarily going to give him that full potential to carry. But I feel like that's what they have to do, because they need to get themselves a lead. If they do not get a lead, I feel like I don't see how InQuick can win the game, right? They need to get the Olaf ahead. They need to get the Mundo scaling. They need to get the Ziggs roaming around the map and get a load of gold ahead. And then basically just be able to say, okay, we're just going to outrange you. We're going to Jin ult. We're going to Ziggs ult. We're just going to send you back with half HP. And then you can't contest anything. Otherwise, I just don't see how the fights go for them. Now, maybe they're going to prove me wrong. Maybe I'm going to look like a fool. But that's just how I'm reading it right now.
I hope they prove us wrong. I really hope they prove us wrong, right?
whoa, Nick V's a Brod hater. That's what you heard it here first.
No, not like that. Like, I want teams to surprise me, like to say like, you were wrong, and I learned something new today, right? That's what I want to see. But I don't see it happen. I think the Jin pick specifically, I don't like it with the Braum. I think Harold said it as well. He's like, no one's going to stack that passive. But I feel like it's more of a notorious champ pool problem, because I've only really seen him play Misfortune, the Jin, and whatever he played last game. Oh, I'm blanking.
It's okay.
Smolder.
It's okay, right now. He's just getting full violence from Kerberos, and I'm kind of here for it.
He kind of has to do it. He needs to create a lead in the top lane. If not, this Ambessa is going to snowball through him as well. Ambessa deals more damage than Olaf. Olaf has a sustain. Without an ultimate, Olaf is useless. Not yet, but he will be getting there.
Ooh, and
Also,
Zeta-
Braum into Alistar, questionable.
Zeta also through the most dangerous part of the Alistar gameplay, that level 1. Now actually able to do things in this game. As we're also seeing Akers weather that storm a little bit in that early game, right? Not like dying level 1. The Undertow not picking up too much, although Kerberos, I do like this rotation a lot, getting some vision, knowing where Pork will be.
Yeah, it means that Mr. Tickle can freely go for that crab in the river, but that means they just basically trade. Jarvan, I think, is a little bit faster on the clear as well, so it still means that Kerberos needs to be aware of it. But it's full clearing until level 6. I think both of them really need it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of proactivity from Porp potentially could get something done. But you know what? I feel like he just needs to kind of follow what he did on the Pantheon. Obviously, you don't have the point-click stun, but the engage is still very much there. And if he gets to level 6, the power that we've talked about, right, against the Olaf, against this Mundo, is going to be up for show. As Mr. Tickle, talking about showing, is going to be spotted on that bottom side of the river.
Yeah, not tickling anything just yet. Would be going for the crab. He will be, again, he saw a potential opportunity, took it, and it just means that he is going to be slower on the clear. You already see Jarvan going back to base. Mundo cleared it quite fast, I will say. So it's not that much of a delay, but it does mean that Jarvan gets the first movement and potentially go for a gank in the bot lane soonish.
I like the reset. Akers also just playing distance. Like Kerberos starting to get low on the mana. The Undertows are going to start to be a little bit harder to throw, and also just the fact that Akers can get such distance away does make it difficult. If he misses one single axe, it could just be the trade over.
Alright, looking at the bot lane again, it just should be a constant push from Brod&Friends. With the Jhin, there is more power on the side of Intquick, but not playmaker potential.
Also, how are
I feel like
fights. How are 5RQ starting fights? Sorry to cut you off there, Nick.
No, that's exactly what I kind of was insinuating. Like listen, they're not going to do anything. And even in team fights, yeah, they have no main initiation. They just, like, Kerberos needs to send it, while the other ones just throw everything at them. Like Jhin and Ziggs just throw their ultimates into the front line, while Kerberos is going first head, hopes he gets a kill on Spark, for example, or QQR, and through that, maybe in a 4v4, they can win. But, like, if Kerberos dies, there's no sustained damage from Intquick. None at all. It's just burst.
The dragon is going to be picked up by Porp, unless Mr. Tickle has anything to say about it. QQR able to dish out a little bit of damage here. Beely also getting in the vicinity. Mr. Tickle going to flash away. Beely does get quite a bit of damage down. We also see the root from the Jhin, so the poke has worked out successfully on the side of 5IQ. Dragon not taken, but Brod gonna go straight back to it. They're looking for the Mundo. Mr. Tickle potentially in trouble here. Still quite tanky. Will finally go down. First blood to the rise. Now the knockup's there. On to Prosper they go. The Dragon is gonna be picked up as well. And they've already taken one kill. They're looking for the second. The Jhin thrown back into the mixer. Artorias cannot get away. And Brod take 2 kills and the Drake.
I feel like I could be as hype as you right now, but I feel like we saw this coming from miles away. We saw that, yes, the poke will be strong from Intquick. They have a lot of damage up front into the front line. But after that, it's gone. Then Brod&Friends can just do whatever they want on the map. And you just saw it right there. And I think this will be the tail for the entirety of the game.
It's looking good for Brod right now, but
yeah, they
still a lot of game. 1,000 gold in the lead. Dragon taken. Grub's going to be spawning very shortly. And I do wonder how they'll play this pressure, because I do think there are windows where 5IQ can become very, very lethal. Like, that wasn't a completely simple fight, right? There were definitely moments where it was a little bit on the edge, but they've already moved Spark up to the top side. They already want to play for this objective. They're just saying, we can basically always fight from the get-go. What are 5IQ going to do?
It was a tickle death to Mundo immediately. So he was taken out of the fight, out of the equation, could not get Drake Artorias, I think, had a good snipe, but there was no follow-up because Billy pretty much already used the skills at that point, so it's more of like a poke war. Early rotation as well from the top side, so they have a man advantage. Braum and Jin onto Abessa.
And that's the danger moment right there. Level 6, locked in for the job.
7.
Akka's looking a little bit dangerous on the bot side of the map as Kerberos forced into a lane that I don't think he would have wanted. I think that he would have wanted to stay against Akka's for a little bit longer.
Yeah, because Kerberos, like Olaf can bully the Ambessa quite a bit. Ambessa needs a few items before she really becomes annoying and damaging, while Olaf can already do it. But because of this lane swap, there's less power going into Kerberos, and Ambessa can just play whatever she wants.
Ooh, this is a good start though for 5IQ. QQ are in a bit of trouble here. The knockup is good to give them a bit of space, and Mr. Tickle, you're not tanky yet. You can't do it. And there's the Cataclysm. The 3 members locked in the cage, and it's unreal from Brod.
Jesus. What happened there? There was an upfront burst again, but they survived the initial damage from Int Quick and immediately snapped and said, all right, let's sprint it. If we win, we win. If we don't, whatever. And they just won. They got rid of the front line. They extended with a massive Cataclysm from Pop, and there's not much else to break down, really. My job is getting taken away from me.
And I won't lie, I love this from Brod, right? They realize,
Yes.
okay, we can't cage off Olaf. We don't need to play too aggressive.
Honestly, it's like, just let Kerberos do what he does, because he's gonna sprint it anyway. Like, he has the CS lead. I don't mean it in the worst way imaginable. I mean it like, Olaf, his job is sprint through the back line and get a kill before he gets killed. He has to sprint it, literally, using Ghost, sprint it really fast in the ultimate. But if the rest of his team can't do anything, then he's just gonna die for no reason.
And at this moment in time, we've seen it twice already. Like, the value of this Cataclysm has come in already. And we're not even getting to the team fights yet, right? It's 5-0 at this moment in time. 2,000 gold in the lead. And they have an objective. Immediately, it was Grubs over to the side of 5IQ, so they are still relevant in the game. They're still very much on the map at this moment in time. But Dragon is going to be spawning up in 46 seconds.
God, I hope I don't have to say the same thing over and over, breaking the team fights down.
Just got a segue, you know, have an ad break.
True. Give me some creativity. I will work, actually. I'm gonna Google a list of synonyms. Just so I can use different words to explain the same thing after every team fight.
I like it, you know? We're getting the live update. People at home are like, oh, how do these casters do it? How do they keep coming up with these new ways of talking about it? Well, this is how we do it right here, right now. Nick V giving us the tutorial while we're in the third game. I love it. As we're going to see Akka's on this top side. Like, Kerberos might go to proxy here. I don't really know what this accomplishes, though. Like, I feel like Akka's doesn't care.
Yeah, Ambessa can then clear waves just as fast as Olaf can. The only thing that you can do is, because you clear the waves already, you create more space on the map, meaning that if you go back, Ambessa is still catching the wave right now, as Crossfire is catching these hands from Pop.
Yeah, but Cage is gone,
Flash.
and Olaf is now moving down. So this is actually quite a nice look for 5IQ if they go for this fight, and it does look like they will. Like you said, given a bit of space, given a bit of time, Kerberos has moved down for this dragon.
They will be trading a tower, though, so the feats of warfare should be falling into the hands of Brod&Friends.
Okay. Wait, really? I feel like the tower might take a little bit of time, but I do agree they are getting quite a lot of plates over. As Mr. Tickle there looking just to slow the roll on this dragon stacking here. Make sure that we're not getting a 20-minute Drake, as we are going to see QQR. I don't know where they came from there, but they're going to have to flash away to get themselves to safety.
Yeah, Ambessa is now doing the proxying, so Kerberos Is he staying bot? No, he's pathing all the way up top, so he'll be missing out on gold and XP. Luckily for him, there is a Cannon, but as we can see, 2 plates already into the pockets of Akers, and slowly getting gold back.
And Brod just biding their time. They don't need to overextend. Yep. They can just play the game how they need to at their own tempo. 3,000 gold now in the lead, and it's just ticking over. They're getting more plates. They're getting more kills. And at this moment in time, all control on their side. But as we did see, you know, Cataclysm utilization is going to be very important in these fights, and what allows Brod to make more fights when there's that threat of Kerberos.
Yeah, they need to somehow bait the Cataclysm first and then go for an engage. Like, it should be layered offense that can really win them team fights if they want to win one, and play around that specifically. Once that's down, there's much more leeway for Kerberos to play, for Mr. Tickle as well, to just be unstoppable. But again, they need to make that play first, and well, that's a very big if.
We've already seen Ragnarok utilized, so actually Brod have a bit of a window here where they can go for anything they want. They don't need to worry too much about it, and I think at the same time though, they are just going to keep playing it chill. They don't need to push for too much. Akers did have to go back to base though after burning TP, so Kerberos will get a bit more time onto this tower.
Yeah, so the plate's going back into Kerberos' pocket. They basically tie in place. You should be able to get one more. The teleport from Akers was already used earlier, so Kerberos can just shred through the tower. Ziggs is there as well for potential backup. Oh, I think they will be forfeiting that first tower. Wow, that was damage. That was a plate in a bit.
Yeah, Ziggs does not care. He will just satchel charge your tower, and boom, there you go. A tower picked up, a bit of gold in your pocket, and your way onto the feet. So it is now going to be all about those dragons, as we are going to see Artorias now in a bit of a predicament here, but does have support coming through with Mr. Tickle and Prosper, and they've actually just managed to lock down Zeta here. A nice kill locked in for 5IQ, their first one of this third game, and they can now look for a little bit more. Actually, they're starting to walk down Brod. Brod able to avoid some CC there, will be able to walk away.
And we were talking about how Brod&Friends, they don't need to force anything. They can just chill and vibe a little bit. But now that they make a play and it failed, it brings Int Quick back a little bit, so they can make plays around the map. You can already see they're hovering the mid lane. If they take that down, it opens up the map very, very widely.
And we are still getting that lead in that bot lane. Spark, obviously such a notorious player in the last game, as Beely going to take another tower, by the way. This is what I do want to see from 5IQ. Get themselves ahead with those leads from those towers. Get that gold influx around the Ziggs, and then really play it from ahead from that. So they've managed to build themselves back into this game, right? Only 1,300 between them, but it is going to be the Herald up next.
Will be taken by Brod&Friends. There's no contest available. The bot lane tower will also fall unless this teleport is going to stop it. Yes, it will. Jhin, not very naturally known to kill towers, I would say.
No, but Beely is. he's been doing his job right now, and I said it. Beely's going to be the key to this victory. They need to get that gold influx, and the fact that Brod were able to get such a lead does put a massive dent in that plan.
Yeah, as we hit the pause just a little bit, we look at the summoner spells once again. There's quite a few flashes up specifically from Jinx, so Spark can make a lot of plays on the map, as well as Alistar, who has flash and engage if they really wanted to, whereas Beely right now ungankable, can satchel charge himself out of danger and also has the flash as a backup, and Olaf has it as well, so they can still play around the Cataclysm, where if he gets locked up, he just simply flashes over towards the Jinx and shreds her down as well. So as long as that flash is up, I don't think Brod&Friends can go for initiation. So until they can bait that out, there's nothing to really fight for, unless like a Drake is going to spawn.
But I think that the other thing as well is it's also about the scaling game for me, because like you said, right, Ryze is really dangerous in the late stages, and Besser as well, and the Jinx we don't even need to think about, right? Like, okay, yes, Olaf might be scary, but like, kill all your carries scary? Like, I don't know, because there's no Ivan, there's no support over the top, right? Okay, maybe you get Brom to block a couple of shots for you, but it's a sentiment where if Brod just keep the trajectory, if they just keep themselves ahead, keep themselves pretty much even with objectives, I feel like they are just setting up really nicely, and the iron, they have to strike while the iron's hot. If you're 5IQ, they need to go when they have the chance to just send it and kill everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking about sending it, Akka's gonna be going aggressive here onto Kerberos. It is a 2 versus 1. The Jarvan with the knock-up, the damage is raining in, and Kerberos is going down.
Yeah, I was like waiting for like, yeah, there's a fight definitely incoming. Let me just stop talking for a moment. All right, so Olaf down means that now Cataclysm for at least 20 seconds is very strong. It means that if Jarvan wants to make a play, do it now, as the Drake is going to spawn, and that will still be time that Kerberos has to path down from the base towards the dragon. So Brod&Friends, gather around the Drake, get a few kills, as you can do right now if you really are ready. And it's,
look into the try. They get the knock up onto Prospect. Oh, is taking a lot of damage though. Needs to be careful. But Rise is dishing some out too. But now the curtain has been called. A couple of low members here as we get a pause.
Yeah, curtains closed for this game. Thank you so much for... No, I'm not kidding. So Olaf is already running down mid as we speak. Rise is quite low, so he will have to base Jarvan as well, which is a major factor, by the way. If he gets touched one more time by Beely, he's gone off the map. And we haven't really spoke about Ziggs yet. We've been talking about scaling, but Ziggs, with the new buffs that he has gotten from the last patch, like, yes, his early damage goes down, but his scaling is off the charts. Like, if we reach late game, those ultimates are potentially one-shotting Spark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we saw it before, right, with the Misfortune ultimate in game 1. Like, there is susceptibility to that, as we are. I do wonder what the pause is for. Maybe we can actually have a little look. Maybe we got a little update. Oh, someone disconnected. It looks like it was Mr. Tickle. So hopefully they are going to come back shortly. As oh, we're actually going to go back to us. So damn, really must need a little bit of a break. But game 3, we set it up from the draft, very Brod favored. How are you feeling about the stock of the game now? Because obviously 5IQ have made some things happen.
They definitely have made things happen, but I feel like it was always off of the mistake of Brod&Friends trying to force a play they really didn't need to take. They see an opportunity, they're like, okay, let's go for that one. And then, ooh, surprise Pikachu face. There's people in the jungle. This is not a 1v5 game. So in that sense, like, I think Int Quick is still on the back foot. I think Brod&Friends can still force a lot, but as long as Olaf has that flash, even Mundo, as long as he has that flash, they can still be a danger. But what kind of danger is, we still have to see that. I don't think it's like a biggest danger. Unless Ziggs is a factor. I think we haven't spoken about Ziggs enough. And I kind of already said like how they can late game win. But his scaling is just insane. I think he's an OP character right now.
Yeah, he is doing a lot, and I will say Beely has been piling in nicely with the rotations to get those towers, so they are creeping that gold back. Like, obviously Brod's still holding on to that gold lead, which is a bit of a factor that I think should be on 5IQ's mind, but the fact that they are starting to get that back, the fact that they are really dangerous on those towers, if they can get kind of split map situations where they trade these towers for these objectives that Brod get, like, there are definitely ways that they can very much bring themselves back into, and maybe even get themselves a lead. We're going to go back into the game with the curtain still called. It is going to be blocked though by Zeta.
You know how long
plays, but Dragon is up right now, so it should be an easy pickup for 5IQ.
You know how long Artorias was just waiting to fire off that last shot? He was lining that up for so long. He was like, yeah, I can get the perfect MLG no scope 360. Put that in the montage.
The protractor out, puts it on the screen.
Yes, with all the flashing and Linkin Park music on top of it. Maybe that's a
well, another tower going to be picked up. This time it is for Brod. And they are able to get themselves a little bit more gold in the bank. But Artorias going to try and do very similar, but we'll have to be careful of Akkas. So Dragons being stacked now by 5IQ. Not what I expected to happen, but they are definitely playing that we've got a lot of poke game. You need to stay away. Talking about stay away. Spark could potentially be in some trouble, but it actually might be Frostbear that needs to run here. We do have the Olaf in tow, gonna Cataclysm, but then gonna flash into the Cataclysm, does kill the Jarvan, and Spark actually needs to run away because Beely is doing so much damage right now. You cannot get hit by another bomb.
And again, just playing off of the mistake from Brod&Friends. Int quick, we just bring it back. Mr. Tickle forcing out the flash from Akers, who should have the ultimate up, so if he wanted to fight, he could go for it, but when Pop is already missing, Olaf using flash will be very important, but Artorias on the third try, he finally gets the tower, so all that gold isn't going into his pocket as well.
And a nice play from Kerberos there. Interesting that he flashed in to the Cataclysm there. I thought he was going to try and keep that one and just potentially kill the support while they waited for the Jarvan to come back out. But, you know, gets the job done, gets that kill, and able to get themselves a bit of gold in the process. So, with that being said, right, 5IQ are closing this gap quite a lot. Now only 1,000 gold between them. And we are going to see a big Atakan spawning. And this one could be quite game-changing.
Yeah, flash being up from Artorias again. It means that he's quite safe. Of course, the flash engage from Jarvan is a factor as well. I liked Kerberos' flash in as well. He knew that Jarvan locked himself up as well because he couldn't, like, he uses combo to get in. Prosper stepping up a bit too much, perhaps.
Prosper's been quite tanky though. I will say this, they've been able to use him in the front line and get some poke down, and 5IQ have been able to turn some of these fights because Spark can only take so much damage and Beely is dishing it out.
Kerberos on the side of the map, like at this point usually you would find him out the other side of the map, but of course without the teleport he is the major factor in a team fight. He needs to be around those objectives to make sure that the 5v5 they play, maybe even create like flank opportunities for himself. I think that should be the way to play right now for Inquick. Like, play around Kerberos, make sure that he can flank, make sure that he can pressure all the waves that he wants to. Currently, they're doing quite a good job.
Yeah, I agree. I maybe I was being biased. Just maybe. But I was like, this game might just be done, like from rip. Like, we get in, couple kills, especially with the early game. I was like, okay, this might just be it. We might be finishing really quickly in this game. Could be a stomp, a 20-minute one. But actually, like, 5IQ, they have stabilized. They've been able to get a lot of work done, and it is surprising to me. It also makes me question a little bit more, like, you know, maybe if they had a couple picks different, could they just be winning quite easily right now? But that is a question for another time, as we're going to get another pause, and hopefully we are going to get everyone back into this game and locked in for some more League of Legends.
Yeah, I feel like if the AD carry was not Jhin, they'll be able to do more. Specifically, I'm looking at the synergy with Braum. Like, I don't think I've seen a passive being popped except once, but that's when Akers was already out of danger.
I'm thinking more if it was like a Sejuani jungle. Like,
I mean, we
like,
talked about the Sejuani Yone, right? Being a good duo, but I don't think that Bailey plays the Yone. I could be wrong, but I don't think
we could have still had the Olaf and the Brom, right? I think, or maybe like a Maokai, right? Just something that I feel like would give free team fights essentially over to the side of 5IQ. Could have even locked in something a bit crazy and gone like Zac.
Ooh, I like that.
You know, I just think giving a bit more agency. I feel like although Mundo is really dangerous, and if Mr. Tickle does become like this unkillable monster beefcake, like, I do think it is going to be a problem, obviously, but it is just that, where are we going? It is just a little bit of a situation where I feel like the engage option would have been nicer.
Was that the cinematic shot that we I guess I think production was playing a bit with the tools that League of Legends gives us.
It's good to know we have that, you know. Maybe
we can make cinematic shots like in the intro or something. That would be great.
Oh no, this is not a cinematic shot you want if you're Prod right now though. Zeta, you better be running right now.
It's one of the storybook scenes.
Yeah, this is wait till next week on Brod&Friends versus 5IQ. Like,
Yeah, it's both basically chasing each other off of the objective. I think it's a little bit too strong right now. Like, I know level 12 junglers can kill the Atacon if they really want to, but at no point will they be available because Kerberos is hugging neutral objectives right now.
He just wants a chance to fight. He just wants to live out his destiny as the Olaf.
Go to Valhalla.
Right now, Brod is saying no. There's no chance of that, mate. We're gonna keep you in the box.
Rotation. I did.
And we don't have a Thresh.
I think they're rotating.
Akers also taking a bit of damage there as well. So I don't know. Akers might actually be in trouble here. I think he's gonna have to just run away. I also don't like the thought of starting the Atakan early. Where is Akers going?
He used the ultimate to go back in.
Where is everyone going? Right now, we're seeing Olaf on the backline running down Spark. Brod have given up all positional control and the Atakan, and 5IQ have just stolen what should never have been theirs.
What a dream scenario for IntQuick. Akers sends it into the entire team of IntQuick. He is the Inter instead. And it means that not even Jarvan being near the carry, Kerberos just had free play, took them down, and they will be taking the Atacon as their prize victory as well.
BBQ have the lead.
Yep.
They are up in gold. They're going to get their third dragon, and they just got an Atakan gifted via Brod.
Is this like the Four Nation curse where everyone is like, yeah, this draft is bad, and then it wins?
This is why we love UKL.
Yes, I feel like it happens too much. Way too much, but I'm here for it. Like at the beginning,
we had a caster come over, and they were like, "Oh, like the league, like it just seems like, you know, the game doesn't play how it should." And I was like,
"Was it Millie?
Yeah, welcome to the league."
I think it was Millie, right?
Well, let's not name names. Let's not get any flame for any of our casters, you know.
Nah, I love it. I love it. We need to have like the meme.
It was right.
Yeah, but it's like Chronicles being like, oh yeah, DK, and then like, oh no, DK. Like that meme. We kind of need that for Four Nations as well.
Oh man,
Chronicler,
we love winning in drafts and then not winning in drafts. You know, like it is what it is. But still a lot of game left, right? We are 23 minutes in. There is still a lot on the map. Mr. Tickle is getting harassed a little bit, but actually not too much. He just kind of takes the camp in front of them with some spectators, and confidence is rising for 5IQ because they are able to just win these fights because of mind control, maybe.
I think it's mostly Brod&Friends just not wanting to play the waiting game, even if they should. Like, there's no need to risk that play at Atacon. Like, I understand that Akers wanted to follow the Jhin and whoever else was roaming down to make sure that, you know, it won't be a 4 versus 5. At the same time, he put himself into a pretty bad position, not expecting the rest of 5IQ to just walk upwards, chasing them down. I think there was no flash expended either to catch Akers. And then he, for some reason, I think he thought his team would win if he ults back in and rejoins his team, but that's definitely not what happened.
No, it is not indeed. It's definitely not what happened. But either way, we're on to the next phase of the game. 25 minutes, mid-game has been struck. Getting into the slightly later stages, the Spark will be slowed. Zeta, valiant to take the place of his ADC. But another pick up from 5IQ.
Another pick. And an objective is ready to be taken, of course. Jarvan is not dead. Kerberos is, though. Wait, when did that happen? I completely missed that.
When did that happen? I think it was when we saw Jarvan go bot lane, but I didn't see the kill either. I was too locked into Zeta dying. So at this moment in time, it is a 1-for-1. I think actually Brod will take that trade. And we are going to see Baron on the map, but no one is taking that for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like, IntQuick shouldn't do it either, because they don't have the killing power. I think if someone's going to start it, it will be Brod&Friends, because they have Jinx, they have Ryze, so they have a lot of DPS on their side. Like, I think even if Int Quick wins like a team fight and they kill 3, they still shouldn't start it.
Ooh. I guess it depends who's left alive.
That's true. Like if it's Ziggs,
but I get what
Mundo,
you're saying. Though.
Olaf.
It will take them a while.
Yeah. I guess with Olaf, it doesn't take that long, but I will just assume that Olaf probably has died. Because he goes to the back line.
Fair assumption. yeah. If someone's going to die in the team fight, it's probably going to be Olaf. Hence him being, as you said, in their back line. But how many can he take? That's the real question. Can he bring 2 members of Brod down with him? I'm also quite excited to see how this Rise shapes up in these later stages too, because I feel like Rise becomes a bit of an anomaly. Like I know everyone raves about Ornn being like this like tank, damage, mage, wizard, bruiser, berserker, but like Rise is like, oh yeah, I'm a little mage, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, kill the squishy mage, and then it's just like, oh wait, sorry, I've got like a ridiculous amount of health. Like and this shield
and
as
the
well.
Shield, yes.
Like,
and Zonya says the stasis.
You thought I was gonna die? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a mage. Like I do these things. It's like hello. So I'm quite interested to see how that one plays out later on, because there is definitely a world where Rise takes over the game.
Yeah, he's like a age-old Smurf. Grandpa Smurf, basically. He's a big beard. Oh, Mystical.
Well, right now we are going to see a bit of a fight here. Mystical is locked in the cage. Crossbear taking a bit of damage as well, as we are going to see the Ragnarok come out, but chasing Akka's down. It's an interesting one. They're not going to go for the backline here, allowing Spark a bit of space and time, but they are going to pick up the kill onto the Ambessa. They do give themselves a lead for this dragon. It's a 5 versus 4, and this is Soul Point, by the way. This is the Soul right here, and it's Ocean on a Mundo and an Olaf. Steal could be incoming from Port. We've seen it once. Will it happen again? 3,000 on the HP while they're just waiting it out. They're giving some time. They're giving some space. They're opening up the curtain call, and they are not going to allow Brod to steal another.
What I found interesting, I assume... Oh, Spark having to flash out. Yeah, I mean, good flash, but you shouldn't be there to begin with. What I found interesting was Jarvan went in, locked Mundo up, and then realized, oh wait, I'm locked up with Mundo. What do they do? Please help! I cannot get out. So he basically got like smacked around. Mundo stayed healthy throughout all of that, and that sends a message, I think, to Pop, like you cannot mess with Mundo right now, and you cannot mess with Olaf either.
I think Pop needs to remember he's an old bot right now. Like he is there to call in the trapper, because that's what he's got to do. He's got to put someone in the cage and then go walk away. That's your role.
Yeah, I feel like he's still trying to like catch people out too often, where he will use his like movement combo as an engage. Speaking of engage, he might find someone. Barely not, no. But I think he should wait it out, use his ultimate, and then QE out. He's making
well, here we go. He's QE'd in. Crossfair is going to use the Glacial Fishes to buy some time. A tiny bit of healing coming out from the Redemption, but a lot of damage taken onto the nose of the Jarvan. And this might be Baron. Now, you said you didn't even want to see them do it if they were 5 versus 2. So let's see how it goes 5 versus 5. The jungler isn't there. They're doing it slowly, but they are doing it. 5,000 HP left. They're going to get this one for free. And Brod have no answer.
I think that ping was like, what is that jungler doing over there?
And I agree. But we're now going for a tier 2.
Yeah, I guess with the Rise ult it makes sense. They create tempo for themselves. They get a turret. So it's a bit of gold swing back, but Ambessa's going to die here.
Akka's in a 2v1. Isn't going to get stunned up here. Wait, Brod. Brod are starting to do it. They've taken an inhib, by the way.
How can you let it get that far?
Can they get away? They are trading an inhib. No, Kerberos is still pushing. Brod are 5 members on the bot side of the map trying to get away. Zeta is low. They're being ran down Zeta is going to kill himself on the minefield of bombs.
In game.
And QQR trying to get away, but they're still pushing. Cobros is still pushing in the top side of this map. 5IQ are getting it done. The TP gets the rise out of there, but Spark is now the next on the list. Dodges the Glacial Fissure, but Mr. Tiggle is running him down. If only he could land one ability, Spark might die sooner, but he survives a little bit longer and finally falls.
What am I seeing? I shouldn't be asking that. I should be explaining what I'm seeing. Okay, so we got a push into an inhib. Great. Then you need to get out. Not so great. It basically, Kerberos was all the way there in the top lane. He was crashing down. Oh my.
Oh, in the cage, but it's a scary place to be. They have managed to go 1-for-1, but look at them base. They're taking more towers. 5IQ are just opening up the game, and they might set up for the end here. 16 seconds on the Jinx. 3 members alive versus the 4 of 5IQ. They're on the Nexus towers. Zeta with a triple knockup, but the rising status is gonna go down. 5IQ have done what we thought not possible, and they have taken game 3.
They did it. They defied our expectations. Right, so to break that down, I think it comes down to Brod&Friends being too impatient while they had scaling champions. Like, yes, IntQuick had it as well, but they had more scaling champions. They should just play the waiting game. They were doing it so well. They were creating leads because of it. Until they start being impatient, they start making mistakes, and IntQuick was just there to punish them consistently. Because of that, they got ahead. The Mundo got whatever he wanted. Went wherever he pleased. Kerberos, same thing with Olaf. In the end, Pop's whole strategy of using Cataclysm on 2 immobile carries was just completely gone, because he went in, Cataclysm, dies, or, you know, walks out with low health, and then IntQuick can just make a play. The Olaf was there to make sure they secure the Baron, and if he wasn't a factor there, then there's no way they could take the Baron. But because he was there, Jarvan was low, Brod&Friends said, okay, let's then try to get an inhib in the bot lane. They were successful, but it was also their downfall. Because not only did Kerberos get a inhib back in the top side, in the bot side, they pushed all the way through because they had Baron from that earlier play. So I feel like it was just 2 greedy plays where they tried to cross map, and mistakes. Just mistakes.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, at the end of the day, whoever wins, wins, right? Congratulations to IntQuick. I just think the saddest thing is that Brod have the potential to win every single one of these games, and in 2 of them, they just handed over, like, a well-fought victory back, right? IntQuick did have to make it work. They did have to play well. I'm not saying that they, by any means, didn't do well for it, but I feel like Brod had game 1 in their hands. They could have played out game 3 with that draft so much better, and it's just a little bit sad to see, because there's so much potential in this team, and we just keep seeing it slightly just go to the miss. But you know what? IntQuick, they showed up. They can play anything. That's all I'm saying. They can play any comp. We can never count them out ever again. They will play anything and potentially win. So congratulations to them. We are going to throw this one over to the desk for the final time. Congrats, IntQuick. They are going to take on Belfast Storm in the upper bracket finals.
Thank you, J Real. And I think in good desk fashion, none of our expectations held up. I think the best way to solve this is to just have no expectations. So much so that we didn't even expect Frisky to be here with us today. So he just left an apology note for Brod for the way that he treated you guys and scuttled off because he couldn't endure what happened in Game 3. For those of you who just joined us, welcome to the desk. I'm AC. The man that would have been in the middle would be Frisky, and that handsome man is Bald Lord Harold in the desk as well, that lost a bet. And well, I mean, I feel like this would have been the best that we would have lost, Harold.
I mean, what even is there to say at this point? I don't know.
The disappointment in your voice is out
Nah,
of this world.
it's like we get through draft and it's like, oh, there's all of these good points that like you can play around. There's all of these conditions that you can play around. There's these combos, this way of like attacking the map, or this way to do things.
Uh-huh.
And then you lose your mind. Then you run into the enemy jungle when you have no flash, and you keep doing it for some god awful reason.
Yep. And if we thought that Billy had a bad game too, after having an amazing game one with Ari, well, in game three, he had a wonderful game as Ziggs. Nobody really expected much of the Ziggs, but we keep forgetting that he got buffed to scale into later stages. And I feel like most of the story with this game is that Int Quick just had so much space to scale where they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like on the side of, at least on the side of in Quick, it was they recognized extremely early what their big win condition was, what they needed to assess, and this man here in the support of
Foxfair.
Crossfair, I can't sing his praise enough for what he did in this game. He was there buying space, denying aggression, denying windows of attack on the side of Broad. And he was there in fights to apply the all ever so important passive stacks with the Brom. And when you have a composition like the one of Broad, once you get stunned, you don't really have characters that can make space. You have the Ambessa, you have the Alistair, you have the Jarvan, but the enemy team has a Mundo and an Olaf. And as long as those two champions are free to do as they please, the Brom is always going to get an awful amount of value. And Broad just seemed to not recognize what their win condition was, and I'm so.
This is amazing. This is amazing. One single series was enough to just throw everybody off the cliff. This is incredible. We have the bracket ready for you guys, but I just want to say, and the caster desk actually pointed this out, I didn't realize up until later that they had no engagers. They had no real engages for fights. All they had was poke, but they still managed to bait Brod and Friends time and time again into awkward fights that just allow them to secure win after win. And now, with that said, we are going to have Int Quick play against Belfast Storm on the upper bracket finals for the slot on the grand finals, Harold.
Yeah, and this also gives the side of Int Quick, the side of Belfast Storm some reprieve, because if Broad won today, it would have completely locked out Belfast Storm from the RPS tournament at the end of the split. A win from Int Quick actually keeps that window open for Belfast Storm. So lot of Belfast
Quick do what they did again and throw Belfast Storm
probably
into the lower bracket.
Exactly.
It's not out of the table. It's absolutely not out of the table. I believe anything anyone tells me these days now in regards to the Four Nations.
At this point, anything can happen. Like after this series, predictions, I'm just gonna roll die. Before any prediction, I'm just gonna roll a set of die and like, oh yeah, we're voting for this team. I mean, analysis goes out the window, logic is out the window. It's just,
man,
we ball.
We are balling super, super hard. On the lower bracket, we're still gonna have Absolved versus Venom Crest Serpents, and as well as Bulldog Academy versus Gucci. So these are going to be important games because the team that gets taken out on these matches is going to get eliminated off the bracket. So it's for realsies now. You know, the lower bracket begins, and it's people are going to start dropping from the tournament.
No second chances.
No second chances from here on out. And 5IQ, they've earned their second chance. They've thrown Broad straight into the lower brackets.
Yeah, I mean, I had to face Broad in second round of lower bracket last split.
How did it go?
Yeah.
Were they angrier than usual? Because I would be angry.
Let's say it wasn't close, and then it was for like 10 minutes, and then it wasn't anymore.
Well, we can see that Broad are planning scrims every day up until their play date now, and I think that that's the least they could do here, given the circumstances that present themselves. Oh, man, Harold, what a day, huh? What an unexpected day. We kicked off this day thinking, I mean, at least I thought it would be a simple 2-0 for Broad, but then we saw game 1. Like, maybe this could go to 3. And then we see game 2, and you're like, okay, Broad are back, right? What
I don't know.
happened?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it felt like at points, especially in game 1 and especially in the mid game of game 3, Broad forgot what their win condition was. And they just started playing like they would play solo queue. Not even, like, that's not even, they weren't even playing solo queue. They was just see somebody